The Yankees and the Red Sox. And the Red Sox with a chance to sweep a series, which they have not done at Fenway Park from the Yankees in 17 years. Alex Rodriguez will be hitting cleanup. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees batting order, turned in by manager Joe Torre. Johnny Damon back in the lineup in center field. Derek Jeter, shortstop. Bobby Abreu in right field, hitting third. Then Alex Rodriguez, 12 homers, 31 RBIs in only 16 games. Third base, Jason Giambi, he started to catch fire. The designated hitter, Robinson Cano, hit .342 last year. Second base, Doug Minkiewicz, struggling at the early part of the year. First base, Melky Cabrera in place of Matsui in left field, and Will Nieves in place of Posada, the catcher, batting ninth, all up against Daisuke Matsuzaka, who's pitched pretty well in all of his starts, Joe, but has only won one game.
Well, I think he's going to find out how good he really is tonight, or how he matches up with all these major league hitters, because they're top hitters in this lineup. And the one thing you have to look at him is he has a lot of different pitches, but really all of that doesn't matter. The thing that he does best is he disrupts the batter's timing with his pause and his delivery. But you can have as many pitches as you want, but the only ones that matter are the ones that you're going to throw for your out pitches, whether that's when you're ahead in the count or behind in the count. You have to have an out pitch. And I think his out pitch is a good fastball, the four-seam fastball, which he throws up in the zone a lot of times, and it works for him. He also has a fork ball, he has a cutter, he has all these pitches. But you have to get ahead in the count before you're going to chase a lot of those pitches. So the fastball is going to be the most important pitch for him tonight, and how he spots it.
Well, here he is, ready to face Johnny Damon, as thousands of flashes go off all around the ballpark for the first pitch of the game, which is called strike one. When he pitched here about 12 days ago against the Mariners and faced Ichiro, that was just off the inside. When he threw the first pitch to Ichiro, there were thousands of flashes going off, just like we saw here for the first pitch to Damon. And Mike Lowell, the third baseman, said he was praying that nobody hit a hot shot to him, said he wouldn't have been able to see it. There were so many bright lights going off. Down and in, 95 miles an hour. And Damon had to jump back out of the way. 2-1. Johnny Damon, 33 years old. He's got a lot of aches and pains, Joe. Some back problems that has been hampering him. He did not start yesterday's game, although he came in as a pinch hitter. He fouls that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
Well, I don't think he would have played today, except they've lost the first 2 games here, and you do not want to be swept. If the Yankees were up 2-0 in this series, I think he would have set out. Posada's not playing tonight. He's got a sore thumb. But so far, we've seen only 2 pitches from Daisuke, the fastball and the slider.
2-2 the count.
Another slider.
Right in the middle of the infield. And it will be the shortstop. That is Lugo. 1 away. We were talking about how hot Alex Rodriguez has been. Friday night he was facing Curt Schilling, and he launched one over the big wall in left center. And then he did it again. This one to right center. Almost an incredible catch by Coco Crisp before he vaulted into the bullpen. Those were his 11th and 12th home runs of the year.
Well, the interesting thing to me is that he's getting hits. He's hitting the ball out of the ballpark on pitches they were getting him out with last year. Pitches away.
Here's Derek Jeter. Jeter, you don't think of him as a home run hitter. He's not a 35, 40 home run a year guy, but he is a guy who usually hits 20 to 25 home runs, and he has not hit any so far this year. In 16 games, he's hitting .324. No homers and only 4 runs batted in. Only 3 extra base hits, all doubles. Un-Jeter-like so far. He's also made a lot of errors at shortstop. There's a ball down and in. And the count is 2-0 to Jeter. Jeter's made 6 errors in the first 16 games of the year. Daisuke Matsuzaka, a legend in Japan from the time he was a great high school pitcher. That was a slider up and in right center, plenty of room. J.D. Drew, out number 2.
Yeah, on Friday, John, I was watching the game. ESPN broadcast the game, and I was watching, and Tavares was talking to Daisuke and his interpreter. Now watch this. He's talking about how to pitch Alex Rodriguez. He's talking about in. He said, boom, boom, balls away, pitch him in. So we'll see how that changes when A-Rod comes to bat, if they make any adjustments.
Bobby Abreu will have to get on base for A-Rod to come up in the first inning. And ball 1 to Abreu. Abreu hitting 323s from Venezuela. And this seemed to be the perfect fit for him, coming to the Yankees and in a great lineup. And that is in there for a called strike. Because he gets on base all the time.
Well, John, one of the hitting philosophies of a good hitter, one, is that you try to see as many pitches as you can against that pitcher the first time up. That way you'll know the rest of the game what he can do to you in clutch situations. And Abreu does that better than anyone.
Was that the gyro ball?
That was something different. That's the first time he's thrown that pitch. Again, he's thrown basically fastball sliders. And that's a changeup of sorts. It's a changeup, and you can see he turns it over a little bit, so it acts like a changeup with screwball motion.
Well, that's the gyro ball. Fastball just off the outside. Really got two different kinds of changeups. Got a split finger pitch. 2-2. Backdoors it with a slider at 89 miles an hour just off the corner.
Well, Daisuke thought it was a strike. He started toward the dugout, clearly off the plate outside, but he started toward the dugout. Nice catch there by Veritek to pull it in and make it appear like it was a strike.
3-2. A-Rod would be next. And he came right back with it, and this time Abreu taking that last one. This time he fought it off.
Now we'll take a look at, this is his menu. That's 8 pitches. You will not see all of those pitches to every hitter or even in one inning. What he'll do is find out what's working best for him that inning, and if he stays ahead in the count, he'll throw the bottom 4. If he doesn't, he'll use the top 4.
3-2, and it's a walk. Another walk for Bobby Abreu to keep the inning going for Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, but what he really did there, John, is he gave Alex Rodriguez a look at all of those pitches that Matsuzaki throws. Zaka throws. He saw the fastball, he saw the slider, he saw the curveball, he saw the changeup. Now, when you're in the on-deck circle, you watch all those pitches to see how much movement's on the fastball, where he starts the breaking ball, etc. And I think that's why Abreu hitting in front of Alex is so valuable for Alex.
Alex Rodriguez, who has had a great career, and he gets buzzed. What you showed him talking with Tavares on Friday, so you're not surprised to see him go up and in and actually hit Alex Rodriguez on his first pitch to him tonight.
Well, I'm surprised that he hit him, but I thought he would go in. Now, Tavares is talking because, you know, Tavares has been in the American League for a long time. He knows hitters. And basically what he's saying is you have to come inside. He didn't necessarily want him to hit him, so he says right there coming around the letters and make him off the plate. Otherwise, he's going to hit the way. I don't think he was actually trying to hit him. I think he was just trying to come inside. But we talked about it in the beginning. Alex is handling all the pitches that they got him out on last year away. Now you're going to have to make adjustments and come inside every once in a while.
So here's Jason Giambi, and he's got himself a little bit of a jam now against a guy who's been a hot hitter lately after a slow start. And the breaking ball in there for a called strike.
Well, the one thing we have to look for with Matsuzaka also, John, is that he has struggled while pitching out of the stretch.
One strike to count to Jason Giambi. Abreu with 2 down had an Abreu at bat. Went to 3-2, and then he walked. A-Rod hit with the first pitch, a glancing blow. A changeup. Left center field, into the alleyway. They'll have to chase this one. Up against the wall on 2 bounces. Abreu scores. A-Rod speeding around third, and he scores all the way from first on a 2-run double by Jason Giambi. The Yankees jump ahead.
Well, remember when you face the Yankees lineup, it's a lineup full of all-stars. You got past Alex Rodriguez, but you could not get past Abreu and Giambi. And that ball's off the plate outside. Just an excellent hitting there by Giambi. It's a changeup away, and Giambi goes the other way with it. Clearly a changeup, and Giambi read it very quickly, and he just went the other way. A-Rod comes around third and scores easily. But again, he's had problems anytime he's gone into the stretch of making his pitches. But that was a pretty good pitch. That's good hitting by Giambi.
Strike one, Robinson Cano now.
One thing he's going to find out pitching to the Yankees, you can make good pitches and they can still hit you. Because that was an example of a good pitch by Matsuzaka, and Giambi showed how good a hitter he is by going the other way.
Giambi with his 14th and 15th RBIs, which would be an outstanding start if he weren't considerably overshadowed by A-Rod. 2 hops to second. Pedroia throws out Cano. But the Yankees get one hit against Daisuke and have 2 runs to show for it. Now the Red Sox are coming up. Big Papi will be up third against the rookie Wright. Yokosu Fenway Park. Welcome to Fenway Park. Sunday Night Baseball. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan and Peter Gammons. And the Red Sox come to bat down 2-0. Here's the Boston batting order now, presented by Taco Bell. Julio Lugo leads off, shortstop. Kevin Youkilis, first base. David Ortiz starting to heat up big time. 5 RBIs this weekend. Manny Ramirez, he says tonight is the night because he's been slumping. J.D. Drew, right field. It'll be Mike Lowell at third base. Jason Varitek has had a huge weekend. The catcher will be Willie Mopena in center field for Coco Crisp, who was a late scratch from the lineup, and Dustin Pedroia at second base, batting ninth. The rookie off to a slow start as well. And on the mound for the Yankees is a rookie from Texas, Chase Wright. He made his major league debut on Tuesday, Joe, and he won it thanks to some considerable offensive support. He had an 8-1 lead after 2 innings in that game against Cleveland.
Well, Joe Torre said what he's impressed with in spring training, he has great poise and he has great command of his changeup.
Julio Lugo leads off, and he's off the outside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, and a little bit low. 2-0 the count.
Well, it has good command of his fastball, but his changeup is kind of the key pitch. And if you have a good fastball, it makes the changeup that much more effective.
Caught the outside with that one. 2-1 now.
As I've said for all the years I've been a broadcaster, if you're left-handed and you can throw strikes and you have pretty good stuff, you can win. And if you have great stuff, you'll be a big winner.
Time taken there.
I'm watching Wright. He has a little bit of Daisuke in him. He hesitates a little bit at the top. He gives you a little pause up there before he releases the ball as well. See that pause right there?
Off the outside again. 3-1. He had some control difficulties in the first inning against Cleveland.
Well, he's not missing by much, though.
Well, that's what Joe Torre said. He said it wasn't like he was all over the place.
He's not missing by much.
Right around the strike zone all the time. And there's a strike at the knees. Full count, 3-2. The Yankees are without 4 starters. Carl Pavano, Chien-Ming Wang, Mike Messina, and they just got the 4th one, who's maybe a 5th starter at best, Jeff Karstens. And there's ball 4, so Lugo leads off with a walk. Chien-Ming Wang, they're expecting to get back on Tuesday. And Messina maybe 10 days from now or so. Pavano, Joe Torre said they still have no idea. Karstens made a start yesterday. So as they one by one get their regular starters back, the question will be which of these young starters might get a chance to stay. And so they've all got a chance to impress Joe Torre, General Manager Cashman, to see which one might be around a little bit longer. Kevin Youkilis takes a strike. Youkilis, you were born in your old stomping grounds here, Joe. Cincinnati. Some pretty good ball players come out of Cincinnati.
Correct.
Or came from other places that went there.
Yeah, that too, but there were some good ones from there too. Jimmy Wynn, my ex-roommate, was from there. Of course, Pete Rose from there. A lot of guys born there in Cincinnati. Ken Griffey Jr. is from Cincinnati.
And playing back at home. 2-0, the Yankees are leading. The big power comes up after Youkilis. David Ortiz on deck, and back to first is Lugo. Now, the Red Sox have been doing a few things that you don't normally associate with the Red Sox. They're not like they're a big freewheeling base stealing club now, but Lugo will steal a base now and again. He's stolen 3 times in the young season. Friday night they had 2 consecutive bunt hits in the game against the Yankees. And that is in there, a slider for a strike. So he's got an 0-2 count to Youkilis.
Well, he has a lot of confidence in his pitches, as you can see. Threw Lugo a 3-2 slider, which I didn't quite understand leading off the ball game in their half of the inning, and down 2-0. You do not want to walk the leadoff hitter, and he did.
And back to the bag is Lugo. I like when they talked to Wright about his first start, and they asked him, well, what was your first experience in the big leagues like pitching at Yankee Stadium? And he said, well, you know, the best part was when you get 2 strike and everybody stands up. He was kind of into that. But now he's in hostile ground. A Yankee pitching at Fenway Park. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Posada got injured. He got a bruise on the thumb on his left hand, catching Andy Pettit on Friday. He'll probably be back in their lineup tomorrow. So Will Nieves, the backup catcher, 29 years old, from Puerto Rico, been around with big league clubs and in the minor leagues for many years. And back to the bag we go again. So when's the last time you've seen a Red Sox base runner draw this much attention from a Yankee pitcher? David Ortiz on deck. He's made 4 pickoff throws since Lugo got to first base. That is Minkiewicz on the bag with Lugo. And a foul. 1-2 the count. Lugo has been effective 73% of the time that he's attempted to steal in his big league career.
That's a good number for a guy that's not considered, you know, an elite base stealer. This guy steals 70 or 80 bases a year. But that's a good number.
He's on pace for about 30 steals this year. This would be a pretty good number for the Red Sox. There he goes.
Great jump.
And they're not even going to throw.
Well, he got a great jump, and there was no reason to throw. You're not going to get him. The one thing about a left-hander, he's slower in his delivery to the plate. So if you can read him, you will always be able to get a good jump. Being able to read him is the problem. See, it takes him a lot longer to deliver the ball than a right-hander. And you can see there, by the time he gets it there, there's no chance for Nieves to throw Lugo out at second. So if you can read a left-hander, that's why most of those great base stealers in the past would always say it's easier to steal a base off a left-hander than it is a right-hander, because the left-hander is slower to the plate. You just have to be able to read his motion.
Check swing. Well, it was 0-2 at one point to Youkilis. Now it is 3-2, and he's going to 3-2 on each of the first 2 hitters.
Well, we'll see how he pitches Youkilis here. He threw a slider to Lugo and walked him on a 3-2 count.
That's down the left field line, foul. Into the close-in seats down there. Somebody's got a souvenir. Still 3-2 to Youkilis.
Well, what was not a fastball. And Youkilis was out in front and pulled it. Looked more like a changeup. We talked about his changeup being an excellent pitch for him.
3-2. He'll try it again, looking back at Lugo.
Fastball.
And a high foul out of play off to the right.
And that's a good way to come back after a changeup, is with the good high fastball. A lot of times you'll get the hitter to swing through it, but very rarely is he going to hit it hard someplace.
Chase Wright has already thrown 8 pitches to Youkilis. This will be number 9. Lugo in second. And another walk.
Not a good way to start your half of the inning when they spotted you 2 runs in the top of the inning. You have to make them earn it. And so far, he's not doing that.
And so Ron Guidry The Raging Cajun, as he was known in his days, is the great left-handed pitcher for the Yankees. Out to the mound to talk to his young protege, Chase Wright. Chase Wright has very little upper professional experience. He had been at Double-A ball. He finally got to Double-A. He'd had 4 seasons in A ball and then got promoted to Double-A ball. And after a couple of starts in Double-A, that's when he was brought up as an emergency starter the other night against Cleveland. This is his 4th start above A ball in his professional career. So now here he is, the reality of life in the big leagues. He's in a jam, 2 men on, and the great slugger David Ortiz at the plate. Ortiz had 4 RBIs yesterday, 17 RBIs for the young season. And the curveball outside. Joe, I noticed a flag in center field. There's a pretty good breeze blowing straight out toward left. That's the typical summer wind at Fenway, blowing toward the monster seats. Now it's 2-0.
I don't think he needs any help, meaning Big Papi, with the wind.
If he hits him, they go. He's wearing number 42 tonight. The Red Sox originally had their Jackie Robinson Day festivities scheduled for last Sunday like everybody else, but it got rained out, so they're celebrating that tonight. And David Ortiz is wearing number 42 to pay tribute to Jackie Robinson. 2-1 the count. There's manager Terry Francona with the Jackie Robinson adornment on his cap. Soaring fly ball. Abreu, tagging at second is Lugo. Abreu's got a very strong arm, and Lugo is not going anywhere.
He got away with that pitch.
So 1 out. Manny coming up. Let's go to Dave Revson for a Sports Center 30 at 30 update. Very good. Thanks, Dave.
John, I read something, a quote from Barry Bonds the other day. He said he's almost back to where he was 3 or 4 years ago. He said things are starting to come together, his injuries, his knees, and everything else. So I think they're going to start walking him pretty soon again. They're walking him quite often.
Yeah, most teams have been pitching to him most of the time. The changeup too low to Manny Ramirez.
You know, I talked to Manny because a lot of times great hitters get off the slow start, sometimes due to the weather, it's cold or whatever. He said that wasn't the problem. He said the problem that he's having, he just can't get his timing down. One at bat is there, the next at bat is not. So he hasn't been able to be consistent, he says, in his approach to the pitcher.
2-0 now to Manny. He walked the first 2 hitters, and then, living dangerously, he got David Ortiz out.
Yeah, but he got away with a mistake. He hung a breaking ball, and Ortiz does not miss that pitch too often. But he popped it up. And now he's falling behind Manny 2-0.
2-0 to Manny Ramirez. And a pop-up. Shallow right center. There is Abreu again. 2 down.
Well, that was a high fastball, and it wasn't a great pitch to hit, but I've seen Manny handle that pitch before. Fastball up and away. And sometimes a guy that throws a lot of change-ups, off-speed pitches, it can disrupt your timing. And he's late on the fastball. Now watch, he's late on this fastball. It's away. And when I say late, watch where the barrel of the bat is. See how it drags behind? The barrel of the bat, he should be making contact right in front of the plate. Doesn't mean he's going to pull it, but he made contact there right on top of the plate. And that's why the barrel of the bat was dropped a little bit.
You can see the frustration for Manny.
Well, he knows that he should hit that pitch a lot harder than that.
He's just not Manny yet. Came in to the game tonight hitting only 193. Here's J.D. Drew, the new Red Sox right fielder. And he chases that breaking ball and didn't get it. He's behind quickly, 0-2. Well, this would not figure for a rookie to come to Fenway and walk the first 2 hitters to have to face Big Papi, Manny Ramirez, and then J.D. Drew, but he's one strike away from getting out of it. That breaking ball taken down and away. 1-2. Once more, after he walked the first two guys, he went to 2 balls and 1 strike to Ortiz before he got it. And it was 2-0 to Manny Ramirez before he got it.
And they both had pitches to hit. They just missed them.
Lugo dancing off second, getting the attention of Wright, who steps off the slab. So Lugo trying to distract him, apparently. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that breaking ball. That didn't look like a very good 2-strike breaking ball.
It was a hanging breaking ball. Like I said, he's been able to get away with some pitches so far in this inning, but I wouldn't count on continuing to do that. He made a couple of good pitches. One, a 2-0 pitch to Big Papi was a good pitch. He got the call strike. The second pitch to Drew was a good pitch. The first 2 were actually 2 breaking balls.
And that breaking ball high and inside. 2-2 the count. He's thrown 27 pitches in this inning. In his start against Cleveland, he went 5 innings on Tuesday and threw 104 pitches in that one. So he's on a similar kind of a pace. Check swing. Did he go? No! Bob Davidson, the third base umpire, said no swing. And the count goes to 3-2.
And that was definitely one of the toughest calls that the umpires have to make. Let's take a look. Watch the barrel of the bat. I think he controlled it. It looks pretty good here, but yeah, he controlled it. Good call.
Runners go. He struck him out. Got him with the slider. We're headed to the second inning. The Yankees leading 2-0 back of their rookie, Chase Wright. Yankees 2, Red Sox nothing as we start the second inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka back to work facing the 7th place hitter, Doug Minkiewicz, who will lead it off for the New York Yankees. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Peter Gammons is also here with us. And Daisuke throws him a called strike at Peter. Matsuzaka has impressed everybody with his composure.
Well, John, I think one of the things that his teammates have really been surprised at is how, when he gets into jams, he's able to dial it up and throw a lot harder, which is usually the measure of a very, very good pitcher.
And a foul back out of play. But that's not all they're impressed with, right? He's a pretty good athlete.
One of the things Jason Vanacek was saying that what amazes him how athletic he is. He has very, very light feet. He won several gold gloves in Japan. He's an outstanding fielder who actually likes to take ground balls at shortstop a lot of times. But he's very athletic, and it really helps him with repeating his delivery as well as fielding his position.
Well, he'll try and repeat that delivery here to Minkiewicz, the breaking ball, and Pedroia throws out Minkiewicz. 1 away. Minkiewicz came into the game hitting only 128. Although he told us before the game, Joe, if he'd had any luck, he'd be hitting 450.
Yeah, he said he was hitting a lot of line drives. He said he was also going to make a change today. He's going to move a little bit in the batter's box, which I think is one thing that you should do if you're hitting a lot of line drives or hard ground balls at people.
Well, he's 0 for 1. And the batter will be Melky Cabrera facing Matsuzaka. And it has been, Matsuzaka has captured the imaginations of baseball fans here in New England, that's for sure. He was a huge star, Joe. You and I saw him when he pitched and won the championship game of the World Baseball Classic against Team Cuba. Formerly with the Seibu Lions in the Japanese Pacific League. And Seibu has been one of the top clubs in Japan for many, many years. And he often completed what he started. He once threw 250 pitches in a high school championship game down at Koshien Stadium in Osaka. Right on the left side, that ball is carrying and caught by Willie Mopena. Then he slams into the wall and might have shaken himself up a bit.
Well, you mentioned that the ball is flying out to left center field, and the wind is blowing that way, and that ball got up into the wind.
We mentioned it was blowing out to left.
And Coco Crisp is normally the center fielder, but he was injured and Willie Mo Pena was out there. You see, he just kept going because I think the wind was really pushing the ball to left center field. It got right in that jet stream that's blowing out toward left center.
Well, that seemed to shake him up a little bit. It seemed to be okay. 2 down, nobody on, and here is Will Nieves. That ball just kept going and going, pushed by the wind. Nieves, and that curveball is low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
And watching Matsuzaka, John, I mean, he just looks like a good pitcher. I mean, he's not doing any trick things or whatever. He's got a hesitation in his motion, but basically he's been fastball, slider, and a curveball, and then he throws a changeup when he gets ahead of the hitters. There's another fastball.
It was right to Lowell. And Daisuke has a 7-pitch second inning. 2-0 Yankees. Lowell will be coming up, then Varitek when we come back.
I mean, they need a quarterback, and watching all of them this past season, I think he's the best one in the draft.
Something that maybe they should take Georgia Tech wide receiver Calvin Johnson.
Need a quarterback.
The last wide receiver taken #1 in the overall draft was Keyshawn Johnson, 1996.
Need a quarterback.
He may have some comments on that. He's part of the ESPN team coverage.
Need
starting at 11 a.m. on Saturday. That's a foul ball by Mike Lowell down the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes as he faces Chase Wright, the young left-hander. Just glad to be here. Joe Torre said that the first time he met Wright came to Torre's office, and he said he had that little twinkle in his eyes that makes you feel good. Strike 3.
And there's that great changeup we talked about. Well, let's take a look on the nationwide K-zone. Beautiful changeup, and watch how far out in front Lowell is. Way out in front. And it's interesting because you can see the grip, he chokes it. But it's interesting because the catcher gave a sign, make sure you bounce it, which is good. He didn't bounce it, but at least he kept it down.
You know, I'm impressed by that strikeout because Lowell was struck out in his first at-bat of opening day and had not been struck out since then. He'd gone 62 consecutive plate appearances without striking out against anybody until Chase Wright got it. So that's impressive, Joe.
Very impressive. I mean, 62 at-bats without a strikeout. It's pretty good.
Did you ever have a stretch that long?
I can't remember.
So, Joe, you just never remembered your strikeouts is the problem.
That's probably correct.
2-1 to Jason Varitek. Varitek's had the hot hand this weekend. He's had 5 hits and 8 at-bats, 3 runs batted in, a home run. He got one of the back-breaking hits against Mariano Rivera in their comeback on Friday. There's Abreu calling off Cano, out number 2.
One of the things that is making Wright effective, I mean, and able to handle Manny Ramirez and Big Papi when he had runners in scoring position. His fastball is sneaky fast. After all those changeups, all speed pitches, when he throws the fastball, the barrel of the bat is dragging on everybody. They're a little late getting to the fastball, and we saw it right there with Varitek. He was late getting to the fastball. So you have to watch his motion. He hesitates a little bit at the top, and he had that slow, easy delivery.
And ball 1 to Willie Mo Pena. Pena, very powerful right-handed hitter from the Dominican Republic. And he was part of the deal that sent Bronson Arroyo to the Reds. Spring training of last year. And there's that changeup, Joe.
Right now, the key is that he throws so many changeups. He's starting with a change. He throws another one. That when he does throw the fastball, you're just not ready for it. Now we'll have to see how they adjust, you know, the second time around. But so far, he's been able to handle them because of that.
In at the knees. Strike 2. Well, they had their shots at him in the first inning and could not get it done. And now he's threatening a very quick second inning. A slider in the dirt. 2-2. In that first inning, he threw 29 pitches. A very laborious inning. He It seemed like he was behind every hitter that he faced.
Well, I thought the mistake was a 3-2 slider to Lugo got him in trouble when he walked him. Now you're in the stretch right away.
2-2. And now 3-2. Sometimes it looks like the only pitch he really has total command on is that changeup.
Yeah.
3-2 the count. Dustin Pedroia, the rookie second baseman, would be next. 2 down. And he walked it with a changeup. His third walk. And so the rookie Pedroia will come up. There's Joe Torre. The Yankees are going through some bad times in terms of injury problems, especially to their starting rotation. Well, now his young lefty, Chase Wright, who made him smile last week. They had 3 rookies win in 3 consecutive days against Cleveland last week, including Chase Wright and his buddy Sean Henn. Here is Dustin Pedroia, Southern California. Actually, yeah, Woodland, that's Southern California. And he's not hitting. He's the rookie second baseman, hitting only 158, and the Red Sox second baseman altogether hitting only 196.
Well, the interesting thing is that last year, Mark Loretta had 31 hits against the Yankees last year.
Just against the Yankees?
Just against the Yankees. I mean, and he's not here now. He's gone.
He's in Houston.
Yeah, and they're struggling at second base.
Pedroia, base hit down the left field line. That will roll into the corner up against the wall. To third base is Pena on a double by Pedroia. So the slumping Pedroia is the guy, not Big Papi, not Manny. It's Pedroia who gets the first hit against Chase Wright.
Well, you cannot continue to pitch from behind and give in. Here's a fastball, not a bad location. It's toward the outside corner. That ball was by Alex Rodriguez before he could react. So he's in looking for the bunt, and see that ball's by him before he can react. It's the life of a third baseman if you have to play in to guard against a bunt against a right-handed hitter, and he pulls one sharply down towards you.
So now Julio Lugo could tie this game with a base hit. Lugo, who walked his first time. That, by the way, was the first extra base hit by Pedroia this year. He'd only had 6 hits of any kind. Lugo has driven in 5. Changeup, did he swing? And the first base umpire, Hunter Wingelstad, says no.
The problem I see with Wright at this point is he's falling right into a pattern. I mean, he's not going to throw you a fastball unless he's ahead in the count, or he falls way behind in the count.
There's Jeter in the hole at short. The long throw in time. And the inning is over. So the Red Sox have stranded 4. Top of the order, Damon, Jeter, Abreu, A-Rod due 4th. And there's Quincy Market, a landmark in Boston. You can buy just about anything there, Joe, including good food. Faneuil Hall, historic part of Boston, an historic locale, and the very rich history unfolded here in Boston as part of the beginnings of this country. Johnny Damon right past Daisuke and into center field, a base hit. First hit of the series for Damon, who had gone 0 for 7 this weekend until now.
Well, I think you'll see the difference, the second time through the lineup, just to see how they react to Daisuke. This is a fastball away, and Damon just reaches out and drills it back through the middle for a base hit. He didn't try to pull it. Right back through the middle. Actually clips his left leg. A piece of it ricochets off into center field.
So now Derek Jeter. Here come the Yankees again. When you're at this part of the order, it's almost like you're in trouble before you even throw a pitch.
Well, and the problem is every time he goes into a stretch, it seems that he loses a little something on his location and on his velocity.
And that's holds true with a lot of pitchers.
Yes, exactly.
Derek Jeter. Look out. Got him. So he tried to go inside on Jeter and drilled him. He tried to go inside on A-Rod in the first inning and got him. So he's in a whole lot of trouble now. 2 men on, and Abreu, then A-Rod, and then Giambi.
When do you warn him? I mean, or do you? Fastball supposedly in, and you see again, I just made the point, his location is not as good, you know, from the stretch as it is from the windup. And he was trying to come inside. He wasn't trying to hit him. I don't believe he was trying to hit him. He was trying to come inside, and the ball got away from him. I think he was just trying to come inside Alex Rodriguez, and the ball got away from him. Remember, he was also in the stretch then when Rodriguez was at bat.
Here is Bobby Abreu, who walked his first time, starting a 2-run first-inning rally.
And he'll be looking first pitch fastball, and if he gets it, he'll try to hammer it. There it is right there. See, that's why I say he's such a smart hitter. He went through and watched every pitch, watched a lot of pitches his first at bat. He saw everything. He ends up walking. He saw a fastball, curveball, and a slider. So now he knows what to expect, so he goes up there this time with runners in scoring position, first pitch fastball. He's looking for it, and he fouled it off. But that's what he was looking for.
Abreu, like Jeter, has not been doing much in the way of getting extra base hits early this year. 1 double, 1 home run, but he's had a lot of RBIs. And foul, and quickly it is strike 2. He's been excellent in the clutch. Came into this game hitting .400 with runners in scoring position.
John, when you think about Matsuzaka, you know, in Japan they don't pitch inside that much, and it's an art to pitch inside. You can't just say, I'm going to start throwing inside, because you will hit a lot of hitters because you're not used to throwing inside, and it runs more off the plate than you want.
0-2 to Abreu. 2 men on, nobody out. Alex Rodriguez on deck, and he missed badly with that one. Off-speed pitch. 1-2. You know, the Pedro Martinez, when he was still a young pitcher with Montreal, got a reputation as a headhunter, and Felipe Alou, his manager at the time, said, no, he doesn't know how to pitch inside yet. He's trying to pitch in there, but he doesn't know how to do it yet.
Yeah, there's an art for him to pitch it inside. You probably should ask Bob Gibson or somebody like that.
Did he pitch inside?
He could teach him.
And again, he misses very far out of the strike zone.
Again, I mean, it bears repeating because you can see the difference in his release when he's in the stretch as compared to the windup. And the other thing I've noticed about him, he's never, in this game where we're only in the second inning, but he has not backed up his fastball. He's never thrown 2 fastballs in a row.
2-2 to the dangerous Abreu. 2 men on, nobody out. The splitter, strike 3 called, and Abreu disagrees.
Well, I think he was actually just fooled by that pitch.
And that may be what Daisuke had been trying to do with those previous 2 pitches. 1 down.
Well, this is Tavares talking to him Friday night when we were watching A-Rod. He wanted to pitch him inside, and the first time up he actually hit him. But again, we're talking about, he hits Jeter also in this at bat. We're talking about a guy that may not have learned how to pitch inside in Japan. And you definitely have, it's an art form to pitch inside.
Well, here is the red-hot Alex Rodriguez. The only pitch he's seen tonight, he got hit by in the first inning. And that is too low. Rodriguez, the Yankees have only played 16 games, and he has 31 runs batted in. Also 12 home runs. He is off to one of the greatest starts of any history, of any hitter in the history of the game.
And he's a very relaxed player now. I think that's the biggest key.
He's got 2 men on at the knees for a called strike. Alex Rodriguez is hitting .389 with runners in scoring position. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan and Peter Gammons. We're at Fenway Park, Sunday Night Baseball. If you have just joined us, the Yankees got 2 runs in the first inning after A-Rod got hit by a pitch. Giambi hit a 2-run double. Now here's A-Rod with Giambi on deck with 2 men on base, trying to do some of that damage that he has done so much of early this year. He chased that hanging breaking ball to the outside, fouling it back.
Well, he has made adjustments this year to how they got him out last year, and that was breaking balls away, fastballs away. And when you see him go out to get a ball like that, even though it's not a strike, you can tell that he's right on top of everything. He's made the adjustment. Now they're going to have to make the adjustments and come inside, and that's what Matsuzaka was trying to do the first time up, but he hit him. You're going to have to keep him honest inside.
Daisuke with Damon, who singled at second. Jeter, whom he hit at first. 1 out. 1 and 2. Strike 3 call on the inside.
And I think it's great because you're watching. When I watched the game on Friday, I watched Veritek, and they just set up outside, and then they'd come inside occasionally. But today, you can see they're making a conscious effort to pitch him inside, even though they hit him the first. See the target? Inside. See where the target is? They're staying inside. There's a breaking ball away. You don't want to hang a breaking ball. But you see another pitch inside, and that's the key. That's a little cutter that catches the inside part of the plate.
That looked like Mariano Rivera. Here is Giambi, same spot, which presented itself for Giambi in the first inning. 2 out, but 2 men on. In that instance, he hit a double to left center for the 2 runs with which the Yankees lead the game right now. 2-0 New York in the third.
Well, he started him with a fastball, and like I said, he has not thrown consecutive fastballs in this ball game yet. You have to keep the hitters honest, even if you don't throw a strike. There it is, a high fastball. That's what you want. If you're going to throw one fastball and then go to something else, the hitters are going to see that, and they'll be looking for something off speed the next pitch. So you waste one, and that's what he did there, just to make sure that they're not sitting on off-speed pitches after the fastball.
Giambi hitting .391 with runners in scoring position, including tonight. Got jammed and a little bloop foul into the seats just behind third base.
Nice pitch, a little cut fastball on the inside. But he also knows that Giambi hit the changeup. There was a pretty good changeup away last time he went to left center field. So he might be thinking, well, he's sitting on the fastball, on the off-speed stuff.
Well, he's ahead of him now, 1 and 2. And the crowd rises to the occasion, trying to offer its support to Daisuke Matsuzaka. And he's having to earn his money in this inning, Joe, against this lineup after he got into a hole with Damon and Jeter on base, nobody out. But he struck out Abreu, and then he struck out A-Rod. And he's ahead of Giambi, 1 and 2.
Anytime you face this Yankee lineup, you got your work cut out for you.
He goes away with a fastball. Our radar gun said 97 miles an hour. 2 and 2. So he can get a little extra on that fastball when he wants to. The Hita in Japan, they call it the heater, the Hita. 2 and 2 the count. Damon at second, Jeter at first. Fastball away.
Well, he's throwing all hard stuff, fastballs and a cut fastball. He hasn't seen anything else in this at bat.
What if he'd thrown that fastball, the same fastball, but over the plate and up like that?
Well, yeah, well, that's what he was trying to do, I think. But, I mean, the point is, he hasn't seen anything but hard stuff. If you want, this would be a good time to throw him something off speed.
Damon and Jeter, they run. Bloop, and out there already, Pedroia still going out. He can't get it. Coming in to score is Damon. Going to third is Jeter, and holding at first is Giambi. Even with Pedroia out in right field to begin with as part of the shift that was on, he still could not get to that one. And it is 3-0 Yankees, all of the runs driven in by Giambi.
Well, he went with a cut fastball inside, and he made the pitch he wanted. He jams Giambi. See, it cut in on him, and it hit him right on the fist, but Pedroia made a great effort to get there, but he couldn't come up with it. Right off the fingertips of his glove.
Well, if he'd just been a couple of inches taller, I think he would have had that one.
I don't say things like that.
Or had a better vertical leap.
I don't say things about short people.
Here is Robinson Cano. Well, you're the one who said he was short. I didn't say anything about that. I just said if he'd been taller. Robinson Cano. And the splitter, that is just foul. Man, did he smoke that one.
It's interesting that Robinson Cano is named after Jackie Robinson. We celebrated his 60th anniversary of his playing the major leagues last week, and some of the people here are celebrating it this week. His dad, Jose Cano, was signed by the Yankees. He didn't play for the Yankees. He played for the Astros. He played about 5 games in the big leagues for the Astros. And he always admired Jackie Robinson, so he named his son Robinson Cano after Jackie Robinson.
Robinson Cano trying to knock in a run or two here against Matsuzaka. And the high fastball fouled back out of play. 0-2 the count. Cano grounded out to second his first time. He said his dad in the Dominican Republic. And there's a Jackie Robinson, a couple of Jackie Robinson fans. And he said his dad down in the Dominican, because games weren't televised very often in those days, but he used to listen to Brooklyn Dodger games, and Jackie Robinson in particular, on the radio. And Daisuke puts him away with hard stuff. So he strikes out the side, but the Yankees add a run. Now the big hitters, Youkilis, followed by David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez coming up. Kevin Youkilis leads off for the Red Sox. We're at Fenway Park. The Yankees have a 3-0 lead for their young lefty, Chase Wright, who delivers inside for ball 1. Chase Wright, 4 years in A-ball, and Peter Gammons, how is it that all of a sudden he's one of the Yankees' bright young prospects and here in Fenway?
Well, a lot of credit has to go to the Yankee development people who, he was floundering around. They dropped his arm angle a little bit, and then he started throwing the changeup, which sells pretty well. I mean, he's been 23-7 the last couple of years, and one of the things in spring training that really impressed Ron Guidry was his ability to throw that changeup at any time fearlessly.
And we've seen it used to good effect here tonight against the Red Sox as he throws a cold strike with a fastball to Kevin Youkilis.
One of the things I've always found with guys with great changeups, they fall in love with it, though, John, and they throw it far too often, and especially when you have a 3-0 lead, you need to make sure that they swing the bats.
2-1 the count. In the right field, Abreu on the move, and he just does make the catch on that one. A lot of open space in that big right field area here.
That's what I'm talking about. Let your fielders help you sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, just let him hit it.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of times guys with changeups, they just fall in love with it and they throw it pitch after pitch.
Abreu has been
hurting him.
Abreu has been pretty busy tonight. That's the 4th fly ball that he's caught already. Here is David Ortiz, who hit a fly ball to Abreu. His first time. Just kind of a high pop fly. And it's 0-1. And he's staying with that fastball right now, Joe. Well, almost as if you were talking directly to him.
Yeah, but I'm sure, Ron Guidry and Joe Torre are sitting over there watching the same thing that I'm watching. You have a 3-0 lead.
Red Sox have only 1 hit against Chase Wright.
Yeah, fastball in on the hands. Great pitch.
Now here is the left fielder, Melky Cabrera, on number 2. So Ortiz 0 for 2 against Chase Wright.
Well, watch the second pitch is a great pitch. Fastball in under the hands. Fastball for a strike. Now watch, this is a great pitch. In under the hands right there. And you can see he was late on it because he'd seen a variety of curveballs. He's seen him throw a lot of changeups. That's why I say you just can't fall in love with the changeup and expect to pitch 7 or 8 innings that way. You have to use your fastball as well.
And that one we got at 92 miles an hour. The first one 92 and the last one 91. So he's not just a soft tosser out there with a little changeup. He's got a pretty decent fastball.
If you make the hitters respect your fastball, then the changeup will be more effective. If they respect your fastball.
Manny Ramirez popped out to shallow right center his first time. The count is 2-0. What's amazing to me is how much of a slump Manny's in. I thought he was almost slump-proof.
Well, that's what I said to him before the guys. I've never seen you in a slump. He said, well, I'm just not able to, be consistent. He said the weather has nothing to do with it. It's just that he's not in the rhythm.
So one homer, 1 double for the whole season up to him. He hit the home run on Thursday up in Toronto. So the Red Sox made a nice comeback. His 2-run homer that you just saw tied that game in the 8th inning. That one is hit well. That one is on its way, and goodbye. Over everything, onto the streets of Boston, and maybe Manny is about to emerge.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but he told me he was going to have a good night tonight, so he's going to hit one out, but I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on him. But he got a fastball in the middle of the plate. The other pitches were away. The fastball's away. He fouled off. That ball was middle in, and he definitely put a charge in it. Take a look. Fastball away. Now watch, this pitch is away. The next pitch he fouls. This one's away also. See, right out there on the edge. Now watch where this one is. That one is up and toward the middle of the plate.
And strike one on the off-speed pitch to J.D. Drew, who struck out his first time. Man, that ball was really a shot. And out where he hit it, you always think about the wall being close in. Well, where he hit it, that's a long one in any ballpark, especially over everything and out onto the streets like that. J.D. Drew hitting .340. And that breaking ball, it's 0-2, or rather, yeah, 1-2 now. Here's the home run by Manny. That's into left center field. And over everything. And Theo Epstein, the Red Sox general manager, reacting to it. That ball is hit deep. J.D. Drew has gotten a hold of one. On its way and out of here. Into the bleachers. Consecutive home runs from Manny Ramirez and J.D. Drew.
Well, he had thrown J.D. Drew a lot of breaking balls, and he got them down. He hangs this one, and J.D. Drew deposits it in right center field. Maybe he does have to do more than throw strikes. But watch, it's a hanging breaking ball. Look at that. Well up in the zone.
Theo Epstein was watching, and he was pretty impressed with this one, too, as Mike Lowell comes up, takes a fastball for a called strike. Chase Wright. 2 homers in the span of 5 pitches. And that ball was just smoked as well. That's a booming home run. There's Theo's reaction.
Well, I think part of Theo's reaction is we paid a lot of money for him. We hope he can protect Manny. And he's off to a very good start. He's been swinging the bat well so far.
It's his second home run. Now Lowell! And this game is going to be tied up. That one's headed for New Hampshire. What a shot! And they're playing home run derby early this year at Fenway Park. 3 booming home runs in a row.
Well, that was a changeup. It was down. It wasn't a high changeup as J.D. Drew's breaking ball was. But Mike Lowell was probably sitting on the off-speed pitch and hit it out of the ballpark.
Ron Guidry out to the mound to talk to Chase Wright as everybody's standing at Fenway Park.
Change up, and it's middle in and down, and he drills it.
Man. Manny Ramirez was watching it from the dugout. Manny started it, then Drew, and then Lowell.
That's after
a tape measure shot. Jason Varitek, ball 1. And Veritek's got a lot of power batting right-handed. How long can this go on? 3 homers in a span of 8 pitches for the Red Sox. That ball is hit, and that one is on its way. Number 4 in a row. And the Red Sox have gone ahead on 4 swings of the bat here in the 3rd.
Well, I've never see anything like that, John. I've never seen 4 home runs in a row.
Well, hardly anybody who has ever been at a baseball game has seen 4 in a row in a big league game. We're talking record-setting territory now, or record-equaling anyway.
You know, as a player, you always talk to the pitcher, you know, and you have a 3-run lead. It takes 3 solo homers to tie. Well, it's taken 3 to tie and 1 to go ahead.
Here's another guy with enormous power, Willie Mo Pena. Ball 1. Everybody's still standing. It had been 27 years since the Red Sox had hit 3 consecutive homers in a game. In fact, that was such a long time ago, Joe. I was the broadcaster for Boston and broadcast that game. Change up, and that rolls foul. 1-1. Tony Perez, in his first year with the Red Sox, batting against Mike Caldwell of the Brewers, homered. The next batter, Carlton Fisk, homered. And then Butch Hobson homered. 3 in a row. The last time that they'd hit 3 in a row until tonight, they hit 4 in that inning. But 3 consecutively. They hit 4 in a row in this inning. And Willie Mo fouls one off to the right. Fans are so disappointed that he's swinging and not hitting it out.
Well, this is about the time the guys on the field say, well, mix in a walk. You know, just go ahead and walk somebody and change this. But he's got 2 strikes on Willie Mo.
The first time in Red Sox history, 4 home runs in a row. Coulter Bean is up in the Yankees bullpen. Struck him out with a slider. An inning for the record books. And they appreciate it here at Fenway Park. The Boston's Red Sox with an astonishing turnaround. It started with 2 down and nobody out when Manny hit a big fly. Then J.D. Drew got his turn, and it was a tape measure shot. Next up, Mike Lowell over everything. And then Jason Varitek, just for good measure. And that one right to the top of the monster seats. Oh, my God. The crowd is still abuzz at Fenway Park. We've got ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. The Yankees' 3-0 lead has disappeared in 4 swings of the Red Sox big bats. 4 consecutive home runs. The first time in Red Sox history that has happened. Manny Ramirez, J.D. Drew, Mike Lowell, and Jason Varitek hitting home runs one right after the other in a 10-pitch span by Chase Wright. So now Daisuke, touched up for 3 runs in the first 3 innings, goes to work here in the 4th with the lead.
Well, let's see how he responds. I mean, when you're down and all of a sudden you get the lead, there should be a response from Daisuke.
Doug Minkiewicz, first ball swinging, hits a foul on the first base side.
And the Red Sox had not scored a lot of runs for Daisuke in his other 3 starts.
No. They'd only scored 5 runs in the games that he had started this year. In 3 games, only 5 runs. So they owed him a few. Minkiewicz grounded out his first time, hitting 7th in the order. Melky Cabrera and Will Nieves will follow. And that is fastball out of play. 0-2 the count to Doug Minkiewicz. That ball is hit well out into the big part of the yard. Drew on the run. No. And up over the wall. Otherwise, likely a triple for Minkiewicz out into the Death Valley out there. The deepest part of the yard toward the 420 side. 4 home runs. It had never happened, not 4 in a row in Red Sox history until the 3rd inning against Chase Wright, and Manny hit the first one, Joe.
That was a high fastball, and then this is a high curveball. And then he hits a changeup from Lowell, gets a changeup, and then a fastball to Varitek. The one thing they had in common, all of them were high pitches, except Lowell's was a changeup that was down. And I feel like you can hit the low changeup a lot better than you can the high changeup.
K back in trouble again after the long double by Minkiewicz, and Melky Cabrera, the hitter. And he spins one in there for a called strike with Will Nieves on deck. The last time an American League team hit 4 consecutive homers, we told you about the Dodgers doing it last year in the National League. It was the Minnesota Twins in 1964, 43 years ago. Fastball away. And they hit 4 in a row. That was one of the great home run hitting teams of all time, Joe. The Harmon Killebrew, Bob Allison, Don Mincher, Jimmy Hall. Earl Batty was the catcher. Zoilo Versalles was a middle infielder. And they hit 4 in a row against the Kansas City Athletics. The splitter, and Youkilis takes the unassisted play, and you're congratulating Cabrera for getting Minkiewicz over
Yeah,
third.
good job. With runners second, no one out, your job is to move him over to third, and he did that.
4-3 Red Sox. And Peter Gammons, the Yankees would like to get a few innings out of Chase Wright tonight.
Well, absolutely, John. I mean, they have the fewest quality starts of any team in the American League, which is a problem. Now, we know they get Long back on Tuesday, and they get Mike Mussina back in a couple of weeks. But the bullpen right now is on a pace to throw more than 600 innings. In the last decade, only one team, the Texas Rangers 2 years ago, had as many as 600 relief innings, and that was only 601. So they could have the most relief innings of anybody in a decade.
That ball was just smoked by Will Nieves and almost picked off his teammate Doug Minkiewicz, who did a great job to avoid it.
And that's why you take your lead in foul territory, so if it does hit you, it's just a foul ball. And he barely gets out of the way.
You have to be quick to elude that one. If you get a hit with a batted ball in fair territory, you're out.
Correct.
One out.
The hitter gets a base hit, though.
Helps the hitter's average. Sounds like you are talking with first-hand experience there. The infield is not in all the way, but most of the way. Inside for a ball. 1-1 the count to Will Nieves, the 9th place hitter, playing in place of Jorge Posada, who's got a bad thumb. Will likely be back in the lineup tomorrow when the Yankees open a series at Tampa Bay in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah, I was watching Dice K. In the games I've watched, that four-seam fastball up has been his strikeout pitch. And I don't see him using that tonight. He doesn't seem to have the good pop upstairs. See, that ball doesn't have a lot of pop on it. It's 93. It may be fast, but there's not that explosion at the end that I've seen in the games that I've watched. But again, when he's in the stretch, he's a different pitcher than he is from the windup.
Will Nieves at the plate, trying to get the tying run home. Minkiewicz at third, 1 out. Keep in mind, Nieves has not had a hit this year. He is 0 for 13. And he dribbles that slider foul. 2-2 the count. The Yankees had a veteran backup catcher by the name of Todd Pratt. But in the end, they decided to go with Will Nieves rather than Todd Pratt.
John, it's a tough situation for Minkiewicz at third base because they're playing halfway on the left and in on the right. I mean, you have no chance of scoring on a ground ball, so I don't know exactly what they're going to try to do here.
And the breaking ball, top foul.
And
2-2.
And he can't get a big lead at third because Lowell is right there at the bag, and Veritek can fire down there. So he's in a tough situation if they're trying to score him on an infield grounder. So he can't get a big lead because Veritek is there and Lowell is not far off the bag. You can only get as far off as the third baseman is.
And he's not that far. That is caught by Pedroia. Man, the second time tonight the Nieves has hit a bullet right at somebody. 2 down. Now, a Sports Center 30 at 30 update. Here's Dave Refson. Johnny Damon He got a lusty boo as he was introduced here at the park where he used to be cheered lustily. But he's a Yankee now. Damon has popped a short, singled, and scored a run. Now he's trying to get an RBI, get that tying run home from third. McCabe led off the inning with a double. Check swing foul over toward the Yankee dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Damon. ESPN's Monday Night Baseball telecast tomorrow night will feature Derek Jeter and these Yankees down in St. Petersburg against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Casey Fossum against Kei Igawa, 7 o'clock Eastern, available in high definition on ESPN HD. Igawa, who won his first game just a few days ago against Cleveland. That change up, and Euclid will take it, and he gets out of it. Still 4-3 Boston. Joe Torre will visit with us from the Yankee dugout in 60 seconds. Back at Fenway with Joe Torre in 60. Boston ahead. We're pleased to be joined now by Yankee manager Joe Torre from the Yankee dugout. Joe, welcome to Sunday Night Baseball.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Joe, it seems that you've been battling this the last 2 years. Injuries at the beginning of the season.
Well, actually, yeah, the last 3 years. Probably 2 years ago was the worst when we had those pitching woes and guys injured, and we didn't have really any reservoir to come to get somebody from. But Joe, you play the game. You have to really play the team you have on the field. You can't be sitting there lamenting what you could have and what you don't have. You have to just deal with what you do have. And we've been pretty good. Our lineup goes out there and fights, and they're going to get the job done.
What about you just making a pitching change?
Yeah, I just felt the kid, 4 homers in a row is a little tough, and we just wanted to get him out of there right now and bring in Coulter Bean.
All right, good luck, Joe, the rest of the way.
Thanks, Joseph.
Joe Torre, manager of the Yankees, and there's Chase Wright in the dugout.
John, that's why he's such a good manager. I mean, just that point of taking Chase out, because 4 home runs in a row. He made the point. I mean, you don't want a guy to be shell-shocked up here in the big leagues. I mean, we haven't seen anyone give up 4 home runs in a row. I haven't ever, but he doesn't want that to be this guy's downfall and go back out there and get beat up.
Dustin Pedroia facing Coulter Bean in from the Yankee bullpen. He is huge, 6 feet 7 inches tall. He is 26 years old, from Scottsdale, Arizona, born and raised there, although he went to school at Ole Miss. A little bit outside. He's got that odd release point, Joe. I mean, odd compared to what hitters are used to seeing.
He's got a tuck. He tucks the ball, which hides the ball a little bit more. And he's large enough that you can be a little shaky in the batter's box.
We just brought up this weekend from the minor leagues, and he's down and in with 1. 2-2 to Pedroia, who doubled his first time in the 2nd inning. By the way, you mentioned you've never seen a pitcher give up 4 consecutive home runs before.
I don't think so.
Well,
remember.
There's only one other pitcher in history to have that happen.
Oh, well, then I didn't see it.
When the Dodgers hit 4 in a row last year against San Diego, they had 1 pitcher, and after a couple, they brought in somebody else. Down the left field line, and Melky Cabrera gets there. So Pedroia is out number 1. Paul Foytak, 1963, was pitching for the Angels, who were a third-year expansion team. And he gave up 4 straight home runs to the Cleveland Indians in 1963. That occurred 44 years ago, and now it happened for the 2nd time to 1 pitcher. So often, I guess, I guess you can't even use the word often. 4 home runs in a row had not often been done. But most of the time when it's been done, apparently, the 1 pitcher was removed before it got to 4. Julio Lugo. The game I did in 1980 when the Brewers were here, when the Red Sox hit 3 consecutive homers, they hit 4 homers in the inning against Mike Caldwell. And then I think he did not survive that inning. The Red Sox ended up hitting 6 home runs in that game and lost the game by 11. The Brewers beat them 19-8. You could look it up.
That's when the Fenway Park, the ball just blew out of here before they built the high stands back here, or it must have been. Yeah. At least, the ball was flying that day. I bet it was a day game.
It was a day game.
Yeah, that's when I used to look on the board and see the big numbers.
By the way, we were mentioning the only other pitcher ever to give up 4 consecutive home runs in an inning, Paul Foytak, was against Cleveland. Terry Francona, the manager of the Boston Red Sox, tonight. And then Coulter Bean apparently injured himself. And Ron Guidry, the pitching coach, manager Joe Torre, and the Yankee trainer all going out to the mound to see if Coulter Bean is okay.
Well, I think it's the
Bean
catcher.
or Will Nieves?
Yeah, I think it may be the catcher.
Nieves has a problem.
Yeah, the way he may have stuck his right hand in there a little too quickly.
Well, he is hurting. Now the Yankees' emergency catcher is the rookie Phelps.
Well, it's his left hand. Actually, that's when Jorge Posada got hurt his thumb. Well, I didn't see anything there, but obviously he's in pain, as you see comes up.
Well, it hit off the thumb of the glove.
Well, it actually hit in the pocket, looks like, John. I don't know. Maybe his hand was twisted.
Well, it was something fairly similar to that injured Jorge Posada on Friday. He injured the left thumb, his catching hand. Josh Phelps was going to get the equipment if he's needed here. Although he's mainly a first baseman, they only like to use him. Never. he's
their guy in case everybody else goes down.
In case there's an emergency. Jorge Posada. They're hoping to keep him out until tomorrow.
I'm sure he was yelling at her, "You're okay, big fella."
3-1 the count to Julio Lugo. 1 out, nobody on. And Lugo gets a walk. He's not a guy who walks often, but he's walked twice tonight. Youkilis coming up, and then Big Papi behind him. Let's take a look at our Lowe's home team advantage. Fenway Park. The anniversary of the first game ever played at Fenway was Friday, the 95th anniversary of the opening of Fenway Park. And they beat the team that became the New York Yankees. They were then known as the New York Highlanders in an extra inning game. Fenway Park was named by the owner of the team at that time, who also built the ballpark, John Taylor. Here's Youkilis. This did not hit that hard. Jeter to second. They get the one. They're back to first. Not in time.
Man.
Wow, what a relay there by Cano.
Well, you have to have a very strong arm to get rid of the ball that quickly and throw off the wrong foot. He just caught it and flipped it. And he still almost got Youkilis at first base. Nice play by Jeter. You have to make sure one. The ball's hit off the end of the bat. He makes sure one. Look out, see, he's off the wrong foot, comes across the bag and flips it, and a close play at first base. Nice play there.
It was hit softly. I didn't think he was even going to throw it first.
Strong arm.
Here is David Ortiz wearing number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. The Red Sox celebrating Jackie Robinson Day today after their festivities were rained out last Sunday when everybody else in baseball celebrated. And the Big Papi wearing number 42 to pay tribute to Jackie Robinson. He's 0 for 2 in this game. They got the big shift on for him. And that's inside. The third baseman, Alex Rodriguez, is back to shortstop. The shortstop, Jeter's up the middle, and the second baseman, Cano's an extra outfielder. Youkilis at first, Minkiewicz on the bag with it. Ortiz facing the right-hander, Coulter Bean now. Spins a slider in there for a strike. 2-1. I mentioned, Joe, the only other time a guy had given up 4 straight home runs, Paul Foytak, it was to Cleveland. Terry Francona, the Boston manager, his dad, Tito Francona, used to play for Cleveland. He was one of the guys who hit the 4 straight homers in that game. Did he swing? Yes, he did. 2-2. So the Red Sox hit 4 in a row against Chase Wright on Terry Francona's birthday. Terry Francona celebrating his birthday here at Fenway tonight. We're going to visit with Terry Francona from the Boston dugout after this inning. That ball is hammered down the right field line into the big part of the yard, over the head of Abreu, and that one up into the crowd. It will cost the Red Sox a run. An automatic double, an automatic 2 bases for Youkilis as well, so he'll have to go back to third.
Thought he hung the breaking ball on this last pitch. He tried to stay away from him the entire at bat. As you'll see, he's trying to stay away. Breaking ball away. And there's a hanging breaking ball. He didn't quite get extended on his why that ball was sinking. He didn't have the carry on it. Got a little more topspin on it than he would have liked.
He hit that almost to the same spot where you hit yours in the World Series.
Yeah, but they caught mine.
Dwight Evans caught it, turned it into a double play.
Well, they should be playing him as deep as they were me, right?
Well, it's also, that's a home run in any other ballpark.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Manny Ramirez, way inside. And this is where Manny may have a little more protection than he used to, Joe, with J.D. Drew hitting next.
And the Yankees do not have anyone throwing in their bullpen.
Well, Manny launched one his last time, and he did say, he said to you and to me as well, he thought tonight was the night where things turn around for him. It was a spectacular home run. It was the first of the 4 in a row. Nice pitch by Bean. Came back from the inside and caught the corner with that slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Red Sox lead 4-3. Youkilis at third, Ortiz at second after his double. Red Sox have 6 hits in the game, none of them singles. Tries it again and gets it again. On the inside, strike 2.
Well, let's take a look at the nationwide K-zone. He spins it, as you said, John. Big breaking ball. Catches the inside corner, although it was supposed to be away.
Like a perfect pitch. 1-2 now to Manny. And he misses inside with it there. Manny Ramirez, at the beginning of this season, was 6th all-time for home run per at-bat frequency. 6th among all the sluggers in the history of the game. Staying with that slider inside. 3-2. J.D. Drew, who homered his last time, on deck, a left-handed hitter. J.D. Drew, who was one of the 4 Dodgers to homer in succession in L.A. last year, and one of the Red Sox to do it this year. Check swing by Manny. And Coulter Bean throws him out. So the Yankees get out of the big jam here in the 4th. Good work there by Bean. The Yankees' big hitters, Jeter, Abreu, and Alex Rodriguez. Coming up, we'll visit with Terry Francona. Fenway Park, Boston, the Red Sox, the Yankees heading to the 5th inning. 4-3, the Red Sox lead, and welcome to Terry Francona, and a happy birthday, Tito.
Thanks, John.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I've watched Dice K on television 3 times now. Is he any different tonight for you than what he has been the last 3 starts?
You know, so far, I think he's, and with runners on base, I think he may be trying to rush a little bit. He's left some balls up away from left-hand hitters or into right-hand hitters. You know, he might be a little bit excited. This is, again, you can talk about it all you want, but this is the first time against the Yankees, and the atmosphere, he does looking to be rushing a little bit.
4 home runs in an inning.
Yeah, we've been economical with our swings.
You know, your dad was part of the only other time in history that 1 pitcher gave up 4 home runs.
Was it the early 60s, 62? Does that sound right?
63.
63.
And I know the 5th guy tried to bunt. Now, the story may have got enhanced a little bit, but he's told it many times.
You don't remember any of the other guys, do you?
Oh, geez. Was it Rocky Colavito and those guys?
Oh, must have been.
Yeah. All right. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Terry Francona on his 48th birthday. Terry Francona, whose dad, Tito Francona, hit a home run against Paul Foytak in 1963, one of 4 consecutive home runs that Cleveland hit that day against Foytak. And Terry Francona's Red Sox did it again here tonight against Chase Wright. The only time that one pitcher gave up 4 consecutive home runs in an inning other than Foytak. Those are the only 2 pitchers to ever have had that misfortune.
Well, it was interesting for me because I noticed, you know, Dice K, it looks like his fastball doesn't have the same pop from the stretch as it did the other 3 games I saw. And he was mentioning maybe he's rushing a little bit. That means he's getting out in front of his arm, getting his body out there, and he's not getting the arm speed that he would normally get. And when you do that, your arm is up, so it leaves the ball high, up in the strike zone. And that's what he said, that, you know, he was leaving some balls up, and that was from the stretch.
Derek Jeter has flied out to right center and been hit by a pitch. He's got Abreu on deck. Now he crushes one toward the wall. It's a home run. Derek Jeter just made it over the monster 37-foot high wall out there, and Jeter just made it, and the Yankees have tied the game. Jeter's first home run this year.
That was a hanging slider or a hanging breaking ball from Dice K. And Jeter has the ability to be able to pull his arms in on that ball inside. A lot of guys try to get extended, but he just pulls his arms in. Breaking ball away. Another one away. Now watch. See, that's a breaking ball inside. Now see how he got his hands. He doesn't get extension like a lot of guys. He just kind of pulls his arms in, and he's in effect he's still fighting that ball off inside. Now see, he doesn't have the classic inside swing that a lot of hitters have. He's still fighting it off inside, but he drives it over the wall.
Bobby Abreu and the splitter. 0-2 the count to Abreu, who has walked and scored a run and been called out on strikes. 4-4 in the 5th inning. Now, in fairness to Dice K, this may be the only ballpark where that was going to be a home run. The home run there by Jeter. And the wind is blowing out to left field tonight as well. And that fastball is too low.
But I think one thing that you see here with Dice K is that even though has 6 pitches or so, you basically only see him using a few. I mean, the first 3 or 4 pitches that we showed you in his repertoire. See, fastball, right? Fastball, splitter, slider, those are the pitches. He's thrown very few changeups, actually. But he caught him looking
His
for
fourth
a fastball, something else.
His 4th strikeout, and the 2nd time in a row he's gotten Abreu looking. I mean, is Abreu looking for something else there?
Well, definitely. Well,
4 strikeouts. He's walked 1 for the season. 28 strikeouts, only 6 walks for Dice K in 24 1/3 innings. A-Rod, and he had him chasing one.
And you haven't seen very much of that so far this season.
1 strike to count. Was that a changeup, you think?
It was an off-speed pitch. It looked more like a chain fork ball. It looked like to me that fork ball or the splitter, whatever he's calling it. They call it a fork ball because it's not as hard as a splitter. Slider, a cut fastball.
And our radar gun got it at 93, so it must be the cutter. 0-2 the count to A-Rod, who has been hit by a pitch and scored a run, and he struck out looking his last time. Alex Rodriguez, who has been superhuman in the first 3 weeks of this 2007 season. As great as he's been in his career, A-Rod has been on a roll like few players in the history of the game. Somebody is recording it for posterity down in the seats. 0-2. The curveball struck him out. Three pitches and out.
Well, the first pitch goes down cut fastball away and a bigger curveball. That's almost an overhand curveball, as you can see there. The one thing that Matsuzaka, how he differs from a lot of the pitchers from Japan,
Giambi takes a curveball for a strike,
is that he doesn't change his arm slot a lot. He throws his pitches from pretty much the same arm angle. You know, we saw Nomo, we saw a lot of those guys change their arm angle. He doesn't change very much.
Giambi, strike 2, and Giambi didn't think so.
But watch his arm angle, and you'll see he throws from this position all the time, right about there. Whether it's a fastball, a curveball, or whatever pitch, that's his arm angle. And we've seen a lot of pitchers, you know, from Japan. Nomo would throw from different arm angles. He would change his arm angle just to confuse the hitter. But Matsuzaka technically has your basic stuff. Good fastball, slider, curve, and, you know, what we call a gyro. That's a different pitch, but a changeup is a changeup is a changeup. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter.
Well, there's the changeup and then there's the gyro.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
2-strike pitch, and the fastball up and away. 1-2.
That was like, what was that they called it, a slurve or whatever?
Yeah.
You know.
Used to be a guy who pitched for the Red Sox at one time, Mike Boddicker.
Yeah.
He had a pitch that they called the Fosh.
Yeah.
You ever see a Fosh ball?
No.
I think Boddicker's Fosh was a lot like Daisuke's gyro ball.
All right.
1-2. And that changeup popped foul. Veritek, he's got it. But Jeter's homer has tied the game. Yankees 4, Red Sox 4. J.D. Drew coming up. Now the Red Sox into the last of the 5th inning against Coulter Bean. And J.D. Drew leads off. Drew hit a spectacular home run his last time up there. And that is a called strike. He hit it just to the right of the 420-foot sign out there in right center field, over the Boston bullpen and up into the bleachers. And that is too low. 1 ball and 1 strike. 4-4 the score. Joe, we're getting more and more info about the 4 consecutive home run thing. This is the 5th time in Major League history that it's happened in a game. The Red Sox hitting 4 in a row in the 3rd inning. The first team to do it, the Milwaukee Braves in 1961, and there's some names that sound pretty familiar. Drew fouls one to make it 2-2. Eddie Matthews, Hall of Famer. Next up, after Eddie Matthews, the home run king.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron, he went deep.
Heard of him.
Then Joe Adcock.
Heard of him.
He was pretty good. And finally, Frank Thomas.
Yep, heard of all of those guys.
Thomas, who would be an original New York Met the following year and lead the Mets in home runs that year with 34. And the Braves lost that game where they hit 4 consecutive home runs.
Adcock hit 4 home runs in a game once, just before Willie Mays did it. I remember Mays did it after Adcock, because I'd never heard of anyone hitting, 4 in my time frame.
Willie Mays hit 4 in the same game at Milwaukee in 1961. In the 3rd inning tonight with 2 down to nobody on, Manny Ramirez over everything. Then J.D. Drew to the deepest part of the yard. Mike Lowell was next, out onto the streets of Boston. And finally Veritek right up to the top of the monster seats. 4 in a row. And Veritek has had a sensational weekend here against the Yankees. They were very concerned. Veritek's bat had not been producing, not this year. It didn't have much of a year last year. But this weekend, Veritek has had 6 hits in 10 at-bats, including 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Back to the bag is Drew. That's it. The other thing about Drew, he's got excellent speed. So Drew is at first, and Mike Lowell, who launched one his last time, at the plate. J.D. Drew was actually one of the guys who hit the 4 consecutive home runs for the Dodgers last year. That was in September against the Padres in a pennant race. Jeff Kent hit one, and then J.D. Drew launched one, and they changed pitchers and brought in their great closer, Trevor Hoffman. And he gave up homers on the first 2 pitches he threw to Russell Martin and then Marlon Anderson. Omar hit the 2-run shot in the last of the 10th to ultimately win that game. Drew back to the bag at first. Mitkevich on the bag with him. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan and Peter Gammons. We're at Fenway Park. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball in our 18th season. 4-4 the score. Center field. Damon gets there. And that is the first out. And now the aforementioned red-hot Jason Varitek comes up. If you're just joining us, the Yankees scored first against Daisuke. A 2-run double by Giambi in the first. They got another one in the third on a Giambi single. So Giambi was ahead 3-0 until the Red Sox hit 4 consecutive home runs in the third inning. Ramirez, Drew, Lowell, and Varitek to take a 4-3 lead, and then Jeter homered for the Yankees in the 5th inning. And there in the bullpen is Scott Proctor, and he's not the only one out there in the Yankee bullpen. The Yankees left-handed starter who pitched here on Friday, Andy Pettitte, is warming up out there. I want to get your comment on that, Joe, as Varitek takes a ball.
Well, a lot of people were surprised that Joe took Pettitte out, you know, early in that ball game. Thought he could have gone an inning or 2 later. So it's probably his turn to throw, and he may be able to sneak a batter or 2 out of him.
Pettitte went 6 1/3 here Friday, throwing 100 pitches. He pitched well, only allowed 2 runs. Coulter B now behind 2-0 to the suddenly hot Jason Varitek. Varitek hit his home run right-handed. He's batting left-handed now. But usually a starting pitcher will take his bullpen session before a game. So the fact he's throwing here.
Well, I think because they have struggled in the bullpen and they are short on arms, I think they decided he'd wait until now.
There's Drew running. There's a semi-pitch out, but Nieves' throw is too late. J.D. Drew steals the bag. His first steal for the Red Sox.
Well, he tucks and then he drops sidearm, so it takes him a long time to deliver the ball. But one of the problems with tall pitchers is it takes him a little more time to unravel. Watch how he checks, see how he ducks, and then he throws. Even though it was a semi-pitch out, like you said, it was a good pitch to throw on. They had no chance to get J.D. Drew.
Varitek 1 for 2. Now base hit could be in a run on the outside corner. So it's 3-1. Willie Mo Pena is on deck. And he walked in with the slider. So 2 men are on 2 walks, and here comes Willie Mo Pena, the right-handed hitter. Pena has walked and struck out in this game.
That's the 6th walk that the Red Sox have received from the Yankee pitchers, and that's not a good sign. I mean, we're only in the 5th inning, and they've walked 6 hitters already.
Pena very powerful. The slider in there for a strike. Talk about that Yankee bullpen, that suddenly beleaguered bullpen. Torrey has used 8 pitchers out of the bullpen in the first 2 games of this series. He had to go get Jeff Karstens early yesterday. Karstens went only 4 1/3. So the Yankee bullpen has been pretty busy in this game already, in this series already. Coulter Bean working in relief of Chase Wright tonight, and he had not pitched in this series until tonight. You got Willie Mo chasing that slider. Now he's ahead of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Four to 4 in the last of the 5th inning. The Red Sox with a threat. 2 men on, only 1 man out. Drew at second, Baratek at first, and he chases another one. Struck him out. 2 down. And that leaves it to the rookie, Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia got his first extra base hit of the season tonight with a double to left in the second inning. Now he's still looking for that first RBI of the season. 4-4 in the 5th. It's hard not to think of Mark Loretta in a spot like this when it's the Red Sox and Yankees. It's like Loretta did his best hitting when they faced the Yankees. 31 hits for him against the Yankees last year for Boston. 0-1 to Pedroia. Two men on, 2 men out. Right there with a slider. Strike 2. You know, it's interesting, the Red Sox have 4 runs on the board. But those are all on home runs. In these kind of hits where a base hit could mean a run, they've been hitless tonight. 0 for 6 as a team with runners in scoring position. Reached for that slider. Jeter over to Cano for the force out on Baratek. 2 men stranded. We're heading to the 6th inning now. Cano will be coming up, and this game is tied at 4. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan and Peter Gammons, and there's the Charles River. We're in Boston at Fenway Park. Yankees, Red Sox. And about 3 o'clock today, Daisuke Matsuzaka, who's pitching tonight, went out into the outfield, and he did some throwing. And Peter Gammons, that was kind of unusual.
Well, it is. I mean, he keeps telling the Red Sox that he really doesn't have a routine yet. He's trying to find it. But today, I mean, he threw hard, John, for almost half an hour, then did wind sprints. And there's a little bit of concern is, you know, is he going to lose some of his velocity, as Joe's talked about tonight, whereas in his last start Tuesday, he did very little throwing and threw much harder.
And that's a base hit for Cano into left center field. First ball swinging here in the 6th inning. And quickly retrieved in the outfield to keep him to just the 1 base.
From what I've read, Peter, you know, they say he's his own pitching coach. So, I mean, he has his own routine, even though you're saying he hasn't been able to find a routine. He still does what he wants on a daily basis, and he's been pitching, you know, since 18 in the major leagues over there, so he knows what gets himself, how he gets himself ready.
That's exactly right, Joe.
But I agree with you, the fact that that may take his toll, you know, doing a little too much, especially when it gets hot in the summer here.
He doesn't like ordinary structure, is what he says.
Doug Minkiewicz, the hitter, and he takes a called strike. Well, this is a high school kid. Years ago, his legend was created at Koshien, the annual high school baseball tournament in Japan. It's like the Super Bowl over there. That's the biggest rated sporting event or any kind of televised event every year. The top high school teams convene at Koshien Stadium in Osaka. And he pitched a 17-inning complete game in that high school tournament through 250 pitches. And that's not even the whole story. He won the game, 250 pitches. The next day he pitched an inning in relief, and the day after that he pitched a complete game no-hitter in the championship game at Koshien. He was at Yokohama High School. That was 1998. So Minkiewicz with a count of 1-1, and the forkball.
Well, that's the best arm speed he's had on that pitch all day. That looked like a fastball when he released it, the arm speed, and Minkiewicz was way out in front.
Minkiewicz has grounded to second, and he's hit a long double to right center. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 4-4 the score in the 6th inning. That ball into right field. Hard is Drew, but it short hops him, and Cano saw that one coming. He never stopped running, and he speeds into third easily.
Well, that comes with looking to see where the outfielders are before the ball's hit. A lot of guys look after the ball's hit. You know that the guy's playing in right center, and he has a long way to go for that ball. So that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to know right away where the outfielders are, although it was a lot closer than Cano probably thought it would be. He never slowed down.
So they're in good shape now. Runners at first and third, nobody out. And here is Melky Cabrera, who had an excellent rookie season last year. Came up for the minors when they had a lot of injury problems. And that's a ball inside. Remember last year they lost two of their starting outfielders at the same time. Gary Sheffield and Hideki Matsui both went down, and Cabrera came up for the minors, and he did an excellent job.
John, what I'm seeing here is the Yankees have made some adjustments to how Matsuzaka is pitching them. And I think we saw Cano jump on the first pitch that was up a little bit. And I think they've made some adjustments in how they're approaching his style of pitching.
Yeah, it's a double play ball. Pedroia to Lugo, 1 to first, 2. A double play, but the Yankees go ahead. Cano comes in to score, and the Yanks are back on top, 5-4.
Well, that ball was hit sharply as well. So I think their approaches, they're probably talking about it on the bench or what they want to do. And the approach seems to be working because they're hitting the ball a lot sharper here than they were before. That's a hard ground ball, but 4 to 6 to 3. But the Yankees do take the lead.
2 down, nobody on. The Yankees back ahead, 5-4, as Will Nieves, the catcher, comes up. Fastball a little bit low.
We talked about this earlier, but there's a word for pressure in every language. And the point is that this is the first time he's pitched against the vaunted Yankees, and everybody in Japan know who the Yankees are. And it's just not the same as pitching, say, against Kansas City.
Well, it's also not the same as against pitching against anybody, because what a lineup they have. So Nieves is gone, but the Yankees are back ahead 5-4. Andy Pettitte is coming into the game from the right field bullpen. Daisuke Matsuzaka, the former great pitcher of the Seibu Lions in the Japanese Pacific League. Daisuke also one of the MVPs in the World Baseball Classic last year, which was won by Japan. But tonight facing the Yankees for the first time. And how about this? The Yankees' bullpen's a little bit short right now. Andy Pettitte, on his normal day to throw on the side, is into the game as a reliever. And it's the second time this year that Pettitte has appeared in relief. At the top of the order, Lugo into right center field, Abreu. And Lugo is retired. He is now 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Youkilis up next, and then David Ortiz due up third in the inning. So Andy Pettitte working as a reliever. April 8th, he pitched an inning of relief against the Baltimore Orioles this year. Pettitte worked 6 1/3 innings through 100 pitches here on Friday. This is the 10th time that he has appeared as a relief pitcher in his career. He's always been a starter. Joe, it's not that unusual when you go back into baseball history for top starters to also appear in relief occasionally.
Well, they threw on their second day when they, you had 4-man rotations. And there were a lot of times when I've seen guys come in. They sent Don Drysdale in after pitching 2 days earlier to strike me out in a game. I always remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was
I just got through facing him 2 nights ago and didn't like it. Now he comes in relief.
That was deep and foul, very much foul, off the bat of Kevin Youkilis. Juan Marichal would do it.
Yeah.
Warren Spahn would do it. And at some point it became less and less of a role, and pitchers would just throw on the side before games. You go back into the 60s and before, the guy could make 35, 40 starts in a season and also 6 or 7 relief appearances.
Well, they always threw in the, during the game in those days, but like you said, a lot of times they throw before the ball game now.
Pettitte also pitched once in relief last year for Houston. And a ball down and away. Andy Pettitte returning to the Yankees, the ball club with which he started. He had gone home to Houston along with Roger Clemens. And they anchored what had been a pretty good starting rotation there for a few years. But now he's back in New York. And he had been a pretty reliable big game pitcher, Joe, in the postseason when he was with the Yankees. Helped him win a World Series a few different times.
Well, you made a good point there about Roger Clemens as well. That's someone that's still hanging out there, so to speak. But, you know, if he's going to pitch, I think he has to make a decision pretty soon because it'll take May to get ready if he's going to come back in June. I read an interesting article. A lot of general managers were asked the question, would they allow a guy to pitch half a season for them? And you got a lot of different answers.
It's a walk to Youkilis. And now Clemens, or rather Pettit, Clemens' close friend, Andy Pettit. Look, I'm already putting Clemens into a Red Sox Yankee game. Andy Pettit up against Big Poppy, David Ortiz. Ortiz had a long double his last time. So we've got stuff happening here, Joe, that usually you don't see nowadays happen until the postseason. A starter pitching in relief. And here is the outstanding starter against the great slugger. That's a double play ball. Jeter gets one to first. Two, a double play dug out by the sure-handed Minkiewicz. And Pettit gets through the inning very quickly. 5-4 Yankees on to the 7th.
Cool. Look at that, John.
Yeah, I didn't know you could draw that well. That's a Big Poppy. Get some baseball, an art form there, and a foul hit by Johnny Damon. The top of the order for the Yankees against Daisuke Matsuzaka as we go to the 7th. Yankees have put 5 runs on the board against Daisuke tonight. Johnny Damon 1 for 3. Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together, they create a positive place for kids. Derek Jeter on deck. Bobby Abreu due up 3rd in the inning. And Matsuzaka up and away with his 90th pitch of the night. He's allowed 7 hits. He's had 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's hit 2 batters. And one of those hit batsmen turned into a run, and one of them helped create a run. The Yankees keep putting their first man up in the inning on base too, Joe. They've done it in 4 consecutive innings, and in 3 of those innings they scored.
Well, this is the 4th time through the order. I mean, you know, these guys are facing him, so they should have an idea what they wanted. You saw Johnny Damon jump on the first pitch because he knew pretty much that he was going to try to get ahead of him, and now he's in a battle. But I think you'll see some adjustments made by the Yankee hitters as we go through this time.
2-2. Matsuzaka pitched 20 innings total in his first 3 starts, allowed 6 earned runs. Tonight, he's allowed 5 runs in 6 innings to the vaunted Yankee lineup. And that's a foul back. And you made a good point, Joe. Pitching at Fenway against the Yankees, that's a little different story on many fronts. But also, probably the greatest lineup in baseball today.
Correct. And knowing that A-Rod and some of these hitters are hot, and again, I don't know the word for pressure in Japanese, but there has to be one because everyone feels pressure.
And the fork ball, strike 3 called.
See, that was a pitch that Damon hadn't seen, and that's why I say it doesn't matter how many pitches you throw. It's how you use them. I mean, you're not going to throw 6 different pitches to a hitter in 1 at bat. So it's a matter of when you use them. Great pitch there right on the outside corner of forkball, and you could see that he was completely fooled, and he hadn't seen that pitch before. That's when a lot of pitches comes in handy late in the ball game when they've seen you a couple of rounds and you haven't shown them all of your pitches.
Johnny Damon 1 for 4 tonight, although the one time he got a hit, the 3rd inning, he ended up scoring a run. Derek Jeter hit a home run his last time. And that's a called strike to the cutter. Jeter's home run tied the game for the Yankees in the 5th inning after the 4 Boston home runs in succession had given the Red Sox the lead in the 3rd. And the Yankees got a run in the 6th inning to regain the lead. 5-4 New York. Lugo on the high hop. Throws out Jeter. 2 down. For the first time tonight, the Boston bullpen has sprung into action. J.C. Romero, the left-hander, getting ready. And the Yankee bullpen is going again. Now, Andy Pettit only threw 9 pitches, Joe, while he was in there. Would Joe Torre bring him back?
No, I mean, he would definitely probably just take him out. He wanted to get through Big Papi in that inning. And now I'm sure he's not going to send him back out there. You have to have a certain mindset to be a starting pitcher and to be able to relieve at the same time the way the game is now. Because you prepare for your next start, and that's all they do. Whereas you bring a guy in as he brought Pettit in, you have to have a certain mindset to be able to handle that.
Pettit did a great job. Only threw 9 pitches. Another off-speed pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Abreu, who has walked and scored a run and twice been called out on strikes. So Scott Proctor is getting ready in the Yankee bullpen, and he's one of the guys that Joe Torre uses in the last 3 innings of a tight game. Got the call on that one, and Abreu again at odds with Sam Holbrook, the plate umpire.
You know what I find strange? I was just thinking about this, John. We've shown that he has about over 6 pitches. How do you call for him? How do you put 6 fingers down there? Obviously, the one is a two-seamer and the 4-seamer. That those are both fastballs. You can just wiggle your finger. That means throw the sinker.
So you can call a fastball, but it's the movement you make.
Your finger.
Okay.
That tells you that you want a sinking fastball, and just the 4-seam fastball is just a regular, fastball call. But he's got a cut fastball, slider, curve, forkball, straight change, and the gyro. So
3-2 the count. The forkball struck him out. His 7th strikeout in 7 innings. But he and the Red Sox are trailing. Manny Ramirez, J.D. Drew, Mike Lowell coming up. Sunday night baseball from Fenway Park, and here come the Red Sox into the last of the 7th. The New York Yankees 5 and the Red Sox 4. And Manny Ramirez, who has 1 long home run already tonight, will lead it off against Scott Proctor, the 30-year-old right-hander. In from the Yankee bullpen, there's Manny. And Proctor may be extra careful with Manny, who has hit 3 home runs and 8 career at-bats against him. Fastball right there for a called strike. Proctor got into 83 games last year, leading the American League in that category. Become a very reliable pitcher, and he's a workhorse. This is his 12th game of the year in the Yankees' 17th game. That slider a beauty, and quickly he's ahead of Manny Ramirez, 0-2. Manny's had 8 career at-bats against Proctor, 3 hits, all of them home runs. Manny has flied out to shallow right center. He's hit a booming homer to left center, and a check swing comebacker, 1 for 3. High and tight. 1-2. The wind is blowing out to left field. There have been 5 home runs hit in the game. The Red Sox hit 4 of them in a row in the 3rd, starting with Manny against the rookie left-hander Chase Wright. Fastball. That's a base hit to right. Well, he kept him in the yard. But that'll bring up J.D. Drew, who's also homered tonight. And we're going to go to the studio for a Sports Center 30 at 30 update with Dave Revson. Upset the Nuggets, correct, over in San Antonio. Maybe the Nuggets, they played their best ball down the stretch. Maybe there'll be a surprise in the postseason. Here is J.D. Drew, who struck out, homered, and walked. Called a strike from Proctor on the inside, 1-1.
We're talking about how Manny matched up against Proctor and how well he's hitting. I don't think Proctor matches up really well with J.D. Drew because he doesn't really have an off-speed pitch. J.D. Drew, good fastball hitter, good hard stuff hitter. Well, there's a curve. He threw a little slow, took some off. You can see they try to throw J.D. Drew as many breaking balls, curve balls as they can. We saw that with Wright, and we saw it with Bean, and now we see it now with Proctor. There's another one.
Toward the wall, but is it going to make it? Yeah. Scrapes off the bottom of the wall. Cabrera plays the carom, Manny to third, a double for J.D. Drew, and Fenway Park, the friendly new home for J.D. Drew. Just a high fly ball, and it scraped off that wall.
Well, he threw him 2 straight curveballs, and again, they try to throw him a lot of curveballs to keep him off balance. And you can see he's off balance, big curveball. He just fights it off the other way. But as you mentioned, the fact that this is a small ballpark, it hits right above the V there. And it's a double, and runs at second and third now.
So Proctor is immediately into very big trouble, and Ron Guidry goes to the mound to speak with him, and the Yankee bullpen is working with Mike Lowell coming up. There is the right-hander, Luis Vizcaino, getting ready in the Yankee bullpen.
Well, John, while I have a quick moment, I want to say congratulations to my daughter, Ashley, for making the National Gymnastics Finals to be held in Cincinnati in May, and congratulations to all of her teammates at Bear Ariels and all the other ladies around the country who are going to be participating in the Nationals this year. It's a big deal. It's their Super Bowl.
Another Morgan athlete.
Yeah, well, they get their looks from me and their athletic ability from their mom.
That's not the way I heard it. Here's Mike Lowell. They're pulled in at the corners. The slider from Proctor down and away. Now, Proctor pitched an inning yesterday. This is something that Peter Gammons touched on earlier about the exhausted nature of the Yankee bullpen. Proctor had 22 pitches yesterday in 1 inning, and he also pitched 2/3 of an inning here Friday. So he's working for the 3rd consecutive day. And he's in immediate trouble. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Lowell crushes one toward the wall, and off the top of the wall and over the wall. A home run! Boston has been playing come from behind all weekend, and they do it again. 7-5 Red Sox on Mike Lowell's 2nd home run of the game.
Well, the ball that J.D. Drew hit was a Fenway ball. This is a line drive, and it may have gone out of any ballpark because it was high and it was a line drive. See, the target's low and away, and it's low and in. And he rips it over the wall. It hits right over the top of the wall. And Joe Torre is on his way out.
And you can see it there. Excellent call by the umpires. Clearly a home run. Off the base of the light standard out there. Joe Torre goes to get Proctor. It just wasn't his night. 3 batters, 3 runs. Nary a batter retired. Luis Vizcaino comes in for the bullpen. 7-5 Boston with Varitek coming up. Red Sox 7, Yankees 5. The Red Sox have been hitting the long ball tonight, including a record-tying 4 consecutive home runs back in the 3rd inning against young Chase Wright. Manny Ramirez got it started. Then J.D. Drew. He was followed in short order by Mike Lowell. That ball is hit, and that one is on its way. Number 4 in a row. And the Red Sox have gone ahead on 4 swings of the bat here in the 3rd.
Well, I've never seen anything like that, John. I've never seen 4 home runs in a row.
Only the 5th time in the history of Major League Baseball that anybody has ever seen it. Daisuke Matsuzaka, the beneficiary of all of the home run power, as Luis Vizcaino comes in from the Yankee bullpen and delivers ball 1 to Jason Varitek. Varitek is the man who hit the 4th of those 4 home runs. And you heard the description of Mike Lowell's home run in that stretch, courtesy of The JOLF Broadcasting Network sending this game back to Japan tonight with the voice Masao Morooka. He got pretty excited, it sounded like to me. Cano throws out Varitek. That's the first out of the 7th inning. Varitek, who has not often been retired in this series. And there's Morooka-san broadcasting the game back to Japan.
作曲家の神山純一です。音楽は人の心を輝かせる。住まいは命を守る。ライスのマンションは年収。
So I'm not sure exactly what. It sounded like we were hearing 2 different broadcasts going right there, but
well, one was a lady and the other one was clearly a guy.
I noticed that myself, even though it was in Japanese.
Correct.
There is Willie Mo Pena, and the count is 0-1. Luis Vizcaíno in for the Yankees now. Well, Scott Proctor, maybe all of that activity caught up to him, Joe, and kind of foreshadowed by Peter Gammons, who said the Yankees were very concerned that their bullpen was not in very good shape for this game.
Well, I also think he has a slight matchup problems against those 3 hitters. You know, obviously Manny is hitting very well, but Lowell's a good fastball hitter. J.D. Drew, good fastball hitter. And they don't care how hard you throw it. If you don't spot it in the right spot, you're going to get hit.
Mike Lowell, 2 home runs tonight. The 12th time he's hit 2 or more home runs in a game, but the first time he's ever done it as a member of the Red Sox. Pena chased that slider, didn't get it, 1-2.
And the funny thing is Proctor has great stuff, but when you're a fastball pitcher and everything is hard, you have to have, you know, your best stuff. And, you know, like you said, maybe all that caught up with him because he has pitched so often, so early in the season. You take a little bit, you take 3 inches off of somebody's fastball, and it makes a big difference.
Lowell got 2 homers and 4 batted in tonight. And 3 homers and 14 batted in for the year. The slider and another strikeout. And Pena, he's been seeing a steady diet of those tonight. He struck out 3 straight times. Now Dustin Pedroia. The Red Sox on top of the American League East at the start of the day. 11 wins, 5 losses. And Joe, the 5 home runs tonight, I think that'll kind of remind you of some Red Sox teams over the years who had that kind of power. But that's not exactly the way they've been doing it most of this year. They've been doing it with excellent pitching. They've been at the top of the league in pitching.
Well, their starters have averaged over 6 innings, per start.
Pedroia, he's got his second hit. The rookie second baseman who came into the game hitting only 158 just swung the bat well tonight, a single and a double. Only the second single for the Red Sox tonight out of their 10 hits. Here's the leadoff man, Julio Lugo, with Pedroia at first. We've seen the Red Sox steal 2 bases in this game. I don't know if Pedroia is much of a base stealer, Joe. I don't think so. Here's Lugo, but this would be a time for a steal. Although maybe not tonight with the wind blowing out to left field. Lugo's got some pop. He can hit a home run. Slider from Vizcaíno, ball 1. And when I sit next to you, I always think that everybody should steal when it's a stealing situation. Joe Morgan, who stole 689 bases in his career. Only got caught 3 times. That's a strike to Lugo. I'm looking up Pedroia, Joe. Okay, and he's not a base stealer. The most bases he ever stole in 1 year, 8. It was Portland and Pawtucket 2 years ago.
But I would say that qualifies him as a non-base stealer.
Non-base stealer, yeah. But he'll be off and running at the crack of the bat with 2 down, and Lugo fouls one into the crowd. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7-5, Boston ahead. Much more baseball coming up in the week to come on ESPN. Tomorrow's the Yankees in Tampa Bay. And what about the bullpen for tomorrow's game? But Joe Torre, they may have to bring somebody up in the minor leagues to fortify that bullpen. Kei Igawa, the left-hander from Japan, will pitch that one at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Wednesday, Tigers and White Sox. That's a great matchup on ESPN too.
But tomorrow could be tough because the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have some good hitters on that ball club. A lot of good young hitters.
Casey Fossil's one of their better pitchers too. And a left-hander, used to be with the Red Sox. And they can give you a lot of trouble. Carl Crawford, Rocco Baldelli,
Upton and Delman Young, good hitters.
And the young hitters. And they steal bases. They put a lot of pressure on a pitcher and on a defense. 2-2 the count to Julio Lugo.
I would love to do a Tampa Bay game so I can see all those good young players. I just watch them on the highlights and watch them through the news and read about them in the newspaper. I'd love to see them play.
It's tomorrow on ESPN. I think Rick Sutcliffe and Dave O'Brien will have that telecast. Unless they're getting a week off already. 2-2 the count. The slider. Ooh.
Man, everybody moved.
That looked pretty good. I moved.
Well, Vizcaino catches it barehanded when he threw it back because he was a little bit upset. Everybody moves on this. And according to K-Zone, it's a little low, but you see everybody was moving. Watch. Vizcaino just reached out and caught it with his bare hand. He was not happy.
3-2. And I think the umpire, Sam Holbrook, was not happy to see him catch it barehanded. Pedroia runs from first, and he walks him. Sinking fastball that missed. And the inning moves on for Kevin Youkilis. I've got 8 walks issued by Yankee pitchers.
Yeah, we were talking about that. You cannot walk a lot of hitters here in Fenway Park because the Red Sox offense comes alive here in this ballpark.
Ron Guidry, the pitching coach, back to the mound. He's been out there about as much as any one of the Yankee pitchers.
Well, I think he's out there to calm Vizcaino down because, the bench thought that was a strike, and Vizcaino obviously thought it was a strike, and so did the catcher Neves.
Sean Henn, another Yankee rookie, a left-hander, up in the bullpen now. With the presence of Big Papi looming on deck. So Henn could be getting ready just in case David Ortiz comes up here in the 7th. 3 runs already in. And Boston is ahead 7-5 as Marty Aronoff, here part of our telecast, Joe, just sent me a note saying the Red Sox had the lucky 7 going this weekend. They won Friday 7-6. They won yesterday 7-5. Now they're leading tonight 7-5. Slider misses to Youkilis, who is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Youkilis came into the game with a batting average that's down, but he's ordinarily going to get a lot of walks. He's got 2 of them tonight. Trying to be the RBI man here. That slider is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luis Vizcaino, a veteran pitcher, and the Yankees got him. He was part of the Randy Johnson deal. The Yankees trading Randy Johnson back to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And as the Yankees are going to get Chin Ming Wong back on Tuesday, looks like the Diamondbacks could get Randy Johnson back from the disabled list for the first time, maybe as early as Tuesday. Slider taken, 2-1. Nobody wants anybody to have even a chance to hit one in the air to left field tonight. In this inning, the Red Sox, J.D. Drew lofted just a high, lazy-looking fly to left down the line that scraped off the wall for a double. And Lowell hit one just over the wall for a 3-run homer. 2-1. To Jeter. Over to Cano for the force out on Lugo, and the inning is over. Big Papi stranded on deck. Alex Rodriguez, and then Jason Giambi. Robinson Cano, power coming up for the Yankees. Sunday night baseball from Boston, and the hometown 9 has a 7-5 lead as they attempt to sweep a series for the Yankees at Fenway for the first time in 17 years. 7-5 Boston, and Matsuzaka is still in there. 8th inning, Alex Rodriguez leads off against him, and that little Single on that one, swung on and missed. A-Rod was hit by a pitch his first time and then struck out his next 2 times. Any connection there, Joe?
Well, I don't know if there was any connection. I know that he's pitched him tough. He's pitched him inside a little bit more than they had been. And I still don't think he was trying to hit him. I just think he was trying to go up and in, and he doesn't know how to do that yet.
Little bit low with that fastball. Pitch number 105 for Daisuke Matsuzaka. Coco Crisp takes over in center field for William Opeña. He too, as is David Ortiz, wearing number 42 in tribute to Jackie Robinson. Red Sox celebrating Jackie Robinson Day at Fenway after getting rained out of Jackie Robinson Day last Sunday. And that sinker is low, 2-1.
John, I wanted to say I really miss not seeing Bernie Williams here. You know, Bernie Williams all these years, this is the first time I've ever done a Yankee game, you know, without Bernie being around someplace and having a chance to talk to him. So I'm sure the Yankee fans miss Bernie as well.
Looks like Bernie's career is over. A strike.
You know, what I'm finding here, just watching A-Rod tonight, is that he's thinking, you know, Daisuke, they talk about how many pitches he has. Well, it seems to me that they're trying to think with him or looking for something, and they're not getting it. Although most of their hits have come on off-speed pitches or something other than the fastball. Tells me that they may be looking for something other than fastballs.
Jason Giambi, 3 RBIs tonight, is on deck. 2-2. Fastball and base hit.
Good hitting there by A-Rod, and that extends his hitting streak. I don't think he's got a hit in every ball game they've had this year. He tried to get a fastball in on him that last pitch. And I wondered how long they were going to stay with him. We'll take a look at these pitches. Breaking ball away. Low fastball. Another sinking fastball. Little slider, cut fastball. And another fastball in. And he fights it off to right center field. I mean, that's just good hitting right there. See, he's taking everything the other way. And there's more to A-Rod this year than just hitting home runs. I mean, he is hitting in the clutch. He's hitting with runners in scoring position. He's doing everything right.
Standing ovation for Daisuke Matsuzaka. And he doffs his cap in appreciation. He departs with a 7-5 lead as Hideki Okajima, his fellow countryman, comes into the game. Red Sox 7, the Yankees 5. Daisuke Matsuzaka back in the dugout. His night is over. Julian Tavares over chatting with him. And there is Hideki Okajima, also a Japanese import. And Peter Gammons, Okajima gave up a home run to the first batter he faced this year in Kansas City, and he's been lights out ever since.
Well, John, what pitching coach John Farrell found was, even though he just showed fastball, curveball in spring training, he noticed him throwing this odd change-up screwball with a split grip, and he started throwing it. And ever since he started throwing it, he has been dominant. We got the save Friday night. He got them to Papelbon in the ninth inning yesterday, and all of a sudden he has a chance to become a very important pitcher for this team.
Well, he's a huge star in Boston already after filling in for Papelbon on Friday, and then they brought him in yesterday, and he got it done again, and he got a huge ovation when he left the ball game yesterday as he delivers ball 1 to Jason Giambi.
And he, like Daisuke, pretty much standard overhand, 3/4 breaking balls and release points. So he's not a trickster either. He relies on his good stuff to get hitters out.
Daisuke threw 108 pitches tonight, 7 innings plus, 5 runs, 8 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts. Curveball. A high curveball for a strike. Giambi driven in 3 tonight with a double to left center. Single homer run his next time up. Fouled out to the catcher in the 5th. Facing the left-hander. Now on deck is another lefty, Cano. And another lefty, Minky. Perfect time to bring in Okajima, although he's working for the 3rd straight day. Ooh, popped up. And they had the shift on for Giambi, so at shortstop is Lowell. The wind carries him and he has to go back to backhand it. Although I think they would have gotten somebody out because Rodriguez had to hold on at first base on that pop-up. Anyway, he caught it, and there's one away. Okajima got Alex Rodriguez for the final out on Friday. as he got his first major league save. And then yesterday he got Giambi in the 7th inning, and that's when he got the huge ovation. Okajima, much less heralded than Daisuke, but he's been a pretty valuable member of this pitching staff early on this year. You know, you and I did that opening day game in Kansas City. The first pitch he threw, John Buck of Kansas City hit a home run against him. He's only allowed 1 hit since then. Cano, third, hangs high for ball 1. He's now at 8 2/3 innings for the year, only 2 hits allowed, 10 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. So after the home run to Buck, there's been almost nothing allowed ever since. Cano is 1 for 3. He singled and scored a run in the 6th. Runner going. The ball is into left center field. Coco Crisp can't get to it. A-Rod was getting ready to leave second base and go back to first, and the ball just fell in front of Crisp, and Cano gets his 2nd hit. Here come the Yankees. 2 men on, and the Yankees are going to bring up a pinch hitter.
Well, they were trying to get something started. There goes A-Rod. It's a hit and run going the other way. And A-Rod dove into second base. He didn't know where the ball was, but then he found it. And they get runners at first and second.
So he bought their deke.
Yeah, well, I think he definitely. Well, I thought Posada could pinch hit, so here he is.
Jorge Posada, the pinch hitter, against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Posada, Matsuzaka's out. I got the wrong Japanese pitcher. He's out of the game, and his reliever is Okajima. And the curveball is too high for ball 1 to Posada, who's hitting .358, 2 homers and 11 runs batted in. There is Matsuzaka with the jacket on in the dugout now. And there's still a question, right? Okajima, this is his 3rd straight game. And he's facing a guy who's been a hot hitter this early season. Jorge Posada. And the curveball has been hanging high almost since he came into the game. 2-0. Brendan Donnelly up in the Boston bullpen, and you see the Red Sox, the starters, the relievers, they've been good all the way around, and one, I think, leads into another. The starters have kept the bullpen from being overworked. They've pitched the fewest innings of any bullpen in the league up till now, unlike the Yankees. 2-1 now to Posada. The possible tying runs are on base. A-Rod at second, Cano at first. And the curveball, he got the strike on the high call, 2-2.
And Posada disagrees.
He's talking to Sam Holbrook, the plate umpire, about it.
Let's take a look at the nationwide K-zone and see what it looks like. Well, it says it got the top of the strike zone.
Georgie a little upset. I mean, the count would have been 3-1 if it had been called a ball. Now it's 2-2. They'll have to swing at anything close. The fastball just off the inside. And now it's the Fenway crowd that is outraged.
Well, it was a good pitch there by Okajima in that if he could have gotten it over the plate, he probably would have been able to get him out after throwing him that many curveballs in a row.
So now the runners will be running. A-Rod from second, and Cano well, with 1 out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, taking a guess.
Yeah, well,
A-Rod took off. A-Rod took off when Okajima, he was going on the first motion from Okajima. Well, he kind of gave it away there.
Yeah, but he was thinking like you. He thought it was 2 outs, and they just reminded him from first base that there's only 1 out. There's only 1 out, so he can't just take off.
3-2. They're not running. And ball 4. The bases are loaded.
I didn't think that was a good running spot, but I didn't want to disagree with you, but I didn't think it was good running.
I was on a roll.
Yeah, but I didn't think, 3-1, you're down. Posada can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but he's coming off the bench.
Melky Cabrera, a switch hitter coming up. And it will be from the bullpen. Brendan Donnelly coming in, replacing Okajima. A base hit could tie this game. Sunday night baseball from Fenway Park. The Yankees trailing the Red Sox 7-5, but the Yankees threatening to make a move here in the 8th. With the bases loaded and 1 out right after the game. Stay tuned for SportsCenter on ESPN. Barry Bonds, another home run. He's got 6 already, right at the top of the National League for the year, and 15 behind the home run king, Henry Aaron. Smoltz and Glavine, the former teammates, battled at Shea today, and one-on-one with Dwayne Wade, all that and more, including the entire day in baseball on SportsCenter right after the game. There's the former Angels right-hander Brendan Donnelly. Pretty good numbers, but he's been used differently by Terry Francona. He rarely goes in for an inning. He's usually in for a matchup here, 1 or 2 hitters. And he's had success at that. The Boston bullpen, meanwhile, is very busy behind him. Miguel Cairo, the pinch runner at first base for Posada. Cairo is the possible go-ahead run. Alex Rodriguez at third. Robinson Cano at second. Cairo at first. And that is too low. The changeup missing for ball 1. Maybe a split-fingered pitch. There is Mike Timlin up in the Boston bullpen. The right-hander. Melky Cabrera, 0 for 3 in the game. And he has not hit that well early on this year. His average for the season, and even 200. The middle infield double play depth. That is a foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Friday night, the Yankees carried a 6-2 lead into the 8th inning, only to see the Red Sox rally, and finally with a 6-3 score and a couple of men on base, Joe Torre went to Mariano Rivera, the great Rivera, the closer. And then he got lit up. It was a shock. Before he got through the inning, 4 runs had scored, and Boston was ahead, and they won the game. To first base, Youkilis. They get 1. Lugo will not attempt 2, and he is arguing with the umpire, Randy Marsh, that the runner, Cairo, went out of the baseline, and it should be an automatic double play.
Well, he could tag the bag, because I was watching him. He slid wide, but he was able to tag the bag in his slide, and that if you can do that, you're not going to get called in that situation. And watch where he ends up. Now, he can reach the bag, so he touches the bag, actually. So anytime you touch the bag, they're not going to call it. As long as you can reach and touch the bag, they're not going to call it. But he slid over the corner of the bag, and he touched the bag, so no way you can call him out.
So Alex Rodriguez scored on that force out. Now it is 7-6. That run charged to Matsuzaka, so the right-hander Daisuke Matsuzaka ends up allowing 6 runs in 7+ innings. And with 2 men on, here comes Josh Phelps, a Rule 5 acquisition, and Matsuzaka still very present in that Boston dugout, leaning up against the railing, intently watching the action. 7-6 Boston. The possible tying run is now at third, in the person of Robinson Cano. The possible go-ahead run at first, Melky Cabrera. And here is Phelps pinch hitting for Nieves. And that would mean, Joe, that Phelps, the emergency catcher, would have to catch.
Well, being an emergency.
They're playing this game like a postseason game. This is...
Well, if you're the Yankees, you're trying to avoid a sweep. You've lost the first 2 ball games.
You're throwing it all out there tonight. Andy Pettitte worked in relief tonight. That's a foul, and hitting the deck was Robinson Cano. 0-2 the count. Donnelly quickly ahead of Phelps. Phelps hitting .294, 5 hits, 17 at bats, including a home run.
You know, when I sit in and I talked to Posada tonight about his thumb, and he knew that he could play if he had to, you know, I found out that one of his uncle, Leo Posada, was one of my teammates in the minor leagues and a great, great hitter. And he helped Posada straighten himself out as a hitter. And I had a chance to talk to him tonight, so it was great with Posada and his uncle Leo.
Josh Phelps, the hitter right here. 2 on, 2 out. And a great play by Pedroia. The side is retired. Josh Phelps hit a screamer, headed for center, and a tie game. And Pedroia with a diving interception to end the inning. And Matsuzaka can still win this one. Leading the cheers, 7-6, Red Sox. Back at Fenway Park, where the Red Sox are holding a 7-6 lead, and now the Excedrin trivia question among active players. Who has hit the most home runs as a visiting player at Fenway Park? Is it Jason Giambi, Alex Rodriguez, Frank Thomas, or Jim Thome?
I'm guessing Frank Thomas.
He figures that he did a lot with that big wall out there in left field. But it's Jim Thome. 19 home runs in his career at Fenway Park. Several changes for the Yankees. Sean Henn, the rookie left-hander, into the pitch. And Big Papi, David Ortiz, fouls one back onto the rooftop. Strike one. Ortiz is 1 for 4 in this game. Josh Phelps stays in to catch. Miguel Cairo is the new first baseman after being a pinch runner. David Ortiz, 6 homers, 17 batted in. I mean, his numbers are awesome. I mean, that would translate to more than 170 RBIs over the full season, just to give you an idea of his pace. But it's not even close to A-Rod. It's almost half of what A-Rod is driven in. That's a called strike. 1-2, Sean Henn. Out in front, you see Henn's numbers in 8 games. He's done a pretty good job. He's the 6th Yankee pitcher of the game. Speaking of Boston, the Red Sox bullpen is getting ready for the 9th inning. That's too low, 2-2. When the Yankees were on the top of the order, and there's Jonathan Papelbon. He got the save here yesterday. It would be Damon, Jeter, Abreu, and if anybody gets aboard, Alex Rodriguez, the red-hot A-Rod, would come up with a chance to do some serious damage. Papelbon getting ready for the 9th. Ooh, that looked pretty hittable, Joe.
Yeah. The performance that Papelbon put on in Texas a couple of weeks ago for us, that's one of the best, most dominant jobs I've seen over, 1 and 1/3 innings there in Texas. He was unhittable that night.
2-2 the count to David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, and J.D. Drew to follow. Left center. And Melky Cabrera. Everything to left field in the air has the crowd excited tonight with the wind blowing out. Jonathan Papelbon. And here it is, Joe, that April the 8th. Michael Young was at the plate with 2 runners on. Then 5 days later, he blew Vladimir Guerrero away. And then yesterday, he blew Derek Jeter away. That's the kind of stuff that he has.
Well, he's got the right makeup to be a closer. I mean, he loves it. And he has a lot of energy he brings in with him.
Manny Ramirez up against Sean Henn with 1 away. Manny has 2 hits tonight, a homer and a single. He's been the igniter for the Red Sox. His homer in the 3rd came when they were trailing 3-0. And it started the stretch of 4 consecutive home runs, equaling a major league record. In the 7th inning, he singled when they were down 5-4. And that started a 3-run rally. All of the runs scoring when Mike Lowell hit a 3-run homer over the wall. There's Lowell. He's in the hole with J.D. Drew out on deck. And the fans start chanting Manny. Did you see the New Yorker feature on Manny Ramirez?
Yeah, I saw it. It was interesting. I mean, his teammates think he's a little strange. I mean, David Ortiz says, you know, he's from another planet.
And he says it lovingly.
Oh, they all love Manny.
1 ball, 1 strike to Manny Ramirez. Too low. 2-1. By the way, Josh Phelps is catching now. First time he has caught in the majors in nearly 6 years. Last time he caught a game was with Toronto in 2001. And by the way, he's no rookie. He's a Rule 5 draftee, but not a rookie. He's been around a long time. With the Blue Jays, Cleveland, Tampa Bay. Fastball to strike. But the Yankees selected him in the Rule 5 draft. Usually when a guy gets selected in the Rule 5 draft, he's a rookie. Jorge Posada not available to catch tonight. They used him as a pinch hitter. And then Phelps hit for Nieves, the backup catcher. So he's the emergency option. And Joe Torre decided, well, this is an emergency. We're training the Red Sox. It's late. We got to do something right now. And Phelps almost delivered. I mean, he missed delivering by just inches. He scalded one up the middle. It looked like a game-tying base hit. But Dustin Pedroia made a headlong diving catch. Full count now to Manny, 3-2. SportsCenter will be along right after the game. We're meanwhile at Fenway with the Red Sox and Yankees having one of their battles. 7-6, Boston ahead. Yankees have led 2 different times in this game. 3-2. Fouled into the crowd off to the right. The last time the Yankees were swept in Fenway Park was all the way back in 1990, at the end of August and into September.
Well, John, I think you had the roles reversed this year from last year. When the Yankees came in here last year, Boston didn't have a pitching rotation for those 5 games, and they swept them. Coming in this time, the Yankees are the ones that had to mix and match their pitching rotation.
Back onto the rooftop, 3-2. Yeah, they had Pettit for game 1, and then they had a couple of rookies after that. The Red Sox, meanwhile, had their big 3 lined up.
Yeah, and that's the way the Yankees were when they came in last year. They were ready for that series.
It was a disaster for the Red Sox. The Yankees came in and just laid waste to them, winning 5 games in 4 days last August. And the Red Sox were basically left for dead.
Yeah, I think
in the pennant race.
That basically ended their threat to the Yankees.
Manny with his 3rd hit of the night.
Well, he said he was going to get hot tonight, and I have to agree, he is swinging the bat very, very well.
Hit number 11 for the Red Sox.
Well, let's take a look at K-Zone. His pitches away, a little slide piece out there, and he rips it right back through the middle. Look at the balance. He just stays there and just drives the ball back through the middle. When he raises his back foot, that lets him keep his bat level a little longer through the hitting zone, and that's how he's hitting line drives.
Now J.D. Drew. He's had a homer and a double tonight. A ball inside. You know, Drew, known primarily as a pull hitter, but he might fancy a stroke that allows him to take advantage of that wall in left field, Joe, as the year goes along. As he did in the 7th inning when he hit a high fly ball that scraped off the wall, and he got himself a double in that 3-run rally. Alex Rodriguez is going to go after Drew at first in time, and Manny moves up to second. 2 down, and Mike Lowell. The Yankees, we mentioned Pettit went on Friday, then go back earlier in the week when they played Cleveland. They had Chase Wright in his Major League debut Tuesday. Kei Igawa from the Japanese League pitched Wednesday. And Darrell Rasner, another rookie, pitched Thursday. Then Pettit here, Jeff Karstens yesterday, and Chase Wright again tonight. So without Messina, without Pavano, without Chin Ming Wong, that Yankee rotation is not, it's missing.
Yeah, with all that going on, John, Peter Pasquarelli just gave me a great note. It says with all the difference between these two rotations, the Yankees not having one and Boston having it set up, they've only outscored New York 21-17 in these 3 ball games so far. That's kind of interesting because, as you mentioned, they had Schilling, Beckett, and Matsuzaka ready for the Yankees this time.
It's the Red Sox have been coming from behind all 3 games.
Yeah.
They were down 6-2 in the 8th inning Friday and won. They were down 4-2 yesterday early in that game. They came back to win it. They were down 3-0 in this one. Came back and went ahead. And then later they were down 5-4 into the 7th inning. They're leading 7-6 right now. Papelbon getting ready for the 9th as Mike Lowell, who's hit 2 home runs, stands in. He's got Manny Ramirez in scoring position. And the only time the Red Sox have had a hit with a runner in scoring position in this game was Lowell's 3-run homer in the 7th. They have had 1 hit at 9 such at-bats in the game. 1-0 the count from Sean Henn. 2-0. They've got Varitek on deck, the switch hitter. There was the first home run. That was the 3rd in a row that left the yard entirely back in the 3rd inning. Then the 3-run homer just over the wall. That put Boston ahead. That was the big one in the 7th. They were down 5-4 and then suddenly were ahead 7-5. Away. Well, now Henn's got first base empty, but the man on deck is having the best weekend of any of the Red Sox hitters, and he seems to be a better right-handed hitter than left-handed, and that's Jason Varitek. There he is on deck. 3-0 though to Lowell. Is he swinging here if he likes to pitch?
Don't be surprised if they don't. Well, they thought he might be. Took a little bit off of that.
3-1. 7-6 Boston in the 8th inning. Boston has hit 5 home runs tonight. Yankees have hit 1. Derek Jeter. A wild back and forth game. Far from over. 1-run game. Ball 4. 2 men on, 2 men out. Varitek coming up. And here is Jason Varitek. He homered in the 3rd and is 1 for 3 with a walk in the game. Right to Jeter. Over to Cano for the force out on Lowell. Just like that, the inning is over. 12 left on with the Red Sox. Now Papelbon should be popping through that bullpen gate here momentarily. We would guess with Damon, Jeter, and Abreu due up. Alex Rodriguez due 4th, as he was yesterday when Papelbon came in. 7-6 Boston, and here comes Papelbon. And he has been automatic so far this year. 5 for 5 in his save opportunities. He only allowed 1 hit in his 6 previous appearances. And as we saw him in that game with Texas, Joe, where he came out of the 8th inning on Sunday Night Baseball, most of the time this year he's been almost untouchable.
Well, he's got such great stuff. I mean, he's got 2 out pitches, a great fastball and the splitter. I mean, he can throw either one, and he can handle any hitter in this league.
And I think there is one thing we should make note of here. This is his 4th game in the last 5 days. They gave him Friday night off after 2 difficult saves in Toronto. 21 pitch, 26 pitch in 2 nights. Okajima got the save Friday. He came back, got the save yesterday, 19 pitches, and now he's going to try and do it again here against the New York Yankees. So Papelbon, who was the Boston closer last year, they were going to make him a starter this spring. And then late in the spring, they said, oh, the heck with it. Manager Terry Francona says, I want him to close. And Papelbon admitted afterward, he said, I really prefer to close myself. And so here he is, Jonathan Papelbon.
Well, if you're the manager, this is a great security blanket to have. You can stop thinking after the 8th inning.
Get it to Papelbon. Game over. We'll find out if that's the case tonight. And he delivers ball 1 to Johnny Damon. The Yankees will make him run the gauntlet. Top of the order, Damon, Jeter, Abreu. And after that, Alex Rodriguez, Jason Giambi, So some outstanding hitters are coming up here. They need one run to stay alive. Blew it by him. What did we get that with? Did that say 98 miles an hour?
I didn't see it.
.98, our gun said. 1 ball, 1 strike to Johnny Damon. He is 1 for 4. Said he was about 80% full efficiency. Wow.
Man, that's why he's so tough. That great splitter. Watch how this ball, I mean, it just disappears. When he throws so hard, you do not have a lot of time to make up your mind, and the bottom falls out of that splitter.
That pitch looked unhittable. 1 ball, 2 strike. The crowd on its feet. Damon fights off the fastball. 1-2. Papelbon, in 6 1/3 innings before tonight, had allowed 1 hit and also had 12 strikeouts. So he's got 19 outs in his games, 12 of them on strikeouts. Back with the hard one again, and again Damon fights it off.
Good job by Damon just to fight off that pitch. He was trying to put him away with a fastball in, but he's thrown him 2 straight fastballs. Now you'll probably see the splitter. Because he wasn't able to put him away with the fastball in, and he's swung over the top of the splitter, so this should be a splitter.
The splitter, and Damon with a check swing. Bob Davidson ruled in his favor. Looked like a check swing from here too. 2-2. We can see why all the veteran presence of Johnny Damon right here.
Yeah, well, definitely there. You knew that splitter was coming.
7th pitch to Damon. 2-2 the count. Another splitter. There is Manny Ramirez. 1 away. Gritty at bat, a determined at bat by Damon, though.
Well, he got pretty good wood on the ball as well. They had him played perfectly.
Of these first 3 hitters, Damon, Jeter, and Abreu, the only one of the 3 ever to have had a hit against Papelbon is now at the plate. Derek Jeter is 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts against Papelbon. Jeter is now 0 for 6 lifetime against him.
Well, you mentioned the fact that A-Rod had so many RBIs, 31, and part of the reason is these guys hitting in front of him, Damon, Jeter, and Abreu. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that group.
Yeah, they're on base all the time. Fastball a strike. 95 miles an hour.
And not only that, he has Jason Giambi hitting behind him. So he's in a pretty good spot, meaning A-Rod with these great hitters in front and a guy to protect him behind him.
But can one of them get on base or more tonight and let the red-hot A-Rod face the red-hot Papelbon? He pulled that one outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, it's like you said, Jeter has handled him okay. I mean, he has 1 hit against him, but this guy, when he comes in, I mean, it's a very difficult chore to get on base, simply because he's not going to walk you, and he comes right after you. He doesn't fear anybody with his fastball or his splitter, so that's why he doesn't walk a lot of guys. He's going right after you with his best stuff. And his best stuff is usually good enough. That's the pitch he struck Jeter out on Friday night when he came in.
Yesterday, he came in.
Yesterday, I'm sorry. Friday was when Okajima finished up, yeah.
But yesterday, they were in the same spot. They needed a base runner to get A-Rod up there.
Well, that's
a tight game.
That high fastball away is just tough to catch up with, even for Jeter.
Well, they could not get a base runner. A-Rod did not bat yesterday. 7-6, Boston. 2 outs away from a sweep of the Yankees. Now, 1 out away.
I mean, he just reached back and got a good fastball. Last 2 fastballs were up, and when he gets the ball up, it's just difficult to catch up with. I mean, he goes right after him. I mean, that's why he's not going to walk guys because he's not afraid to go after anyone. Now watch this last one up. I mean, no chance for Jeter there on fastball inside part of the plate and up.
Man, that was some serious gas right there.
Yeah, I think I even saw Jeter say, wow.
So Bobby Abreu, one of the best in the game at getting on base.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it alive for A-Rod. 2 down.
He's going right after him. No, he threw him a splitter, but that's why he's so tough. Again, he doesn't fear anybody. A little shocked shocked me there that he started him with a splitter, though.
Showed him some respect.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez on deck. Would be next if Abreu can keep the Yankees alive.
Well, Abreu knows he's going to get a fastball here. Let's see if he can catch up with it.
Out of the strike zone, and Abreu rarely goes out of the strike zone. 2-0.
He's going to get another fastball. It's interesting whether Abreu says, well, I can drive the ball in the gap and get an extra base hit or hit it out of the ballpark, or do you try to take and get A-Rod up there? I say he goes after it if he gets the fastball that he wants.
The wind continues to blow out toward the wall in left field. 2 down. Everybody standing at Fenway Park. Strike.
Man.
A beauty at the knees on the outside. Abreu tonight has walked, and then his last 3 at-bats he has struck out. And that could not have happened many times in his career. 3 consecutive strikeouts.
I'm a little surprised he took that last fastball, though.
2-1. Now 3-1. And does Papelbon sneak a glance over at Alex Rodriguez? There's A-Rod on deck.
To be honest with you, I don't think he's afraid of A-Rod. I don't think he's afraid of anyone.
A-Rod has had this uncanny ability in the 9th inning of games to get the big hit when having the opportunity. Well, he did not take that one, Joe. Fouled out of play on a fastball. 3-2.
Well, he couldn't afford to take that one. You would not want to hit against a guy like Papelbon with 2 strikes when he can overpower you with a fastball or he can get you out with his splitter. Well, this will tell you whether, he's worried about Alex or not. When you have a fastball like his, you go after the hitter, but if he throws a splitter, it tells you he's not afraid of anybody.
3-2 with 2 down. And he walked him. He went with the fastball, but out of the strike zone. And Abreu keeps the Yankees going. And Alex Rodriguez, who has been huge in situations much like this. He hit a grand slam to end the game against Baltimore. They were down by a run in the 9th at Yankee Stadium, April the 7th. Hit it into the black seats, no less. And then Thursday, he did it against Cleveland at Yankee Stadium. They were down 6-5, and he hit a 3-run shot to make them a winner again. So he's done it twice at Yankee Stadium.
Well, it's
just this month.
This is a great matchup now. Power on power.
Alex Rodriguez is 1 for 3 and was hit by a pitch.
That's a slider, a little different wrinkle. He's been throwing fastball splitter.
Alex Rodriguez having one of the greatest starts to a season the game has ever seen. He's had nearly twice as many runs batted in as the second best RBI men in either league so far this year. He's had 12 home runs already. The great closer and the great slugger, the game on the line, a 1-run game in the 9th. Came after him with a fastball. He challenged him, and A-Rod was late on it. A pop foul into the crowd. 2 strikes.
Now he's got A-Rod at a distinct disadvantage. I mean, he has 2 or 3 ways he can go. He can go with the high fastball up and out of the strike zone, or he can throw the splitter and try to get him to chase it.
A-Rod has only faced Papelbon twice in his career, and Papelbon struck him out both of those times. 0-2.
High fastball.
There's Lowell over to Pedroia, forcing Abreu. And the Red Sox, for the first time in 17 years, sweep the Yankees at Fenway Park. They had to come from behind in all 3 games to do it. And tonight they had to equal history with 4 consecutive home runs in 1 inning to do it. But do it they did, and Matsuzaka, for the record, the first time he faces the Yankees, beats the Yankees with considerable help.
Considerable help.
Our Chevrolet player of the game is from one of the guys who helped make it happen. Mike Lowell, 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in recognition of his outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to Major League Baseball's youth outreach program, reviving baseball in inner cities. So the Red Sox take the measure of the Yankees 3 in a row with their 3 best, Schilling, Beckett, and Matsuzaka, and every game of battle tonight